Good evening, Dude79 here, just doing a quick mic check. Make sure the mics sound good. Make sure the audio sounds sultry.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi.
Yeah, if you heard that, then I'm afraid your hearing is spot on. And yeah, it's just a piece of shit talking to you. We'll be live in just a moment. Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I'm the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague and renowned piece of shit, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone?
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hello.
What's going on, dude?
I got nothing.
We're typically we're in that mindset right now where we're this close to a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
The long holiday weekend that that are just like gold. Now that you work Monday through Friday, you understand and appreciate. You're no longer in retail. You get these special weekends off. And
correct.
There's just something about those long weekends, man.
No, because when you get back to work, that 4 days sucks.
Actually, I love the 4 days.
My 4 days is compressing 5 days into 4 days. So
you're doing it wrong. That's your fault.
There's nothing I can do about it. However, I should have took Monday off, or Friday off or something, like taking 4 days.
You should have. See, you're still learning though. You're still learning.
I'm working on it. I did that for Memorial Day weekend, and that was a good idea. I should really do that.
You haven't gone into a full piece of shit Monday through Friday person yet, but you're getting there. You got a little bit of practice.
Think about Labor Day though. Maybe we'll.
Tone can't be a piece of shit. If he was, he'd be all over dude's
That's
underwear.
true. I'd be he'd call me a fudgy instead of a.
Brian's not wrong. Brian, how's your night going, dude? What's going on with you? Well, first of all, Tom, what are we drinking? Unofficial beer?
It really should be just the official, but we'll keep saying.
But I don't want Pigeon Hill to send us a lawsuit because they're like, well, you didn't negotiate with us. And I'm not.
Call me Pigeon Hill. Line's always open to you.
Yeah.
Get me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can have my direct line.
We want you to call.
Get in them DMs. Banter and Babble at gmail.com.
Yeah, banterbabble@gmail.com.
There you go. Email us. Talk to us. Let's go, Pigeon Hill.
Let us know how you want us to stop, and then we'll let you know why we should keep going.
And enjoying a cream pie.
Oh, God. Dude, I don't know if I've told you recently about my love for cream pies, but
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, every Wednesday now, I can look forward to coming home, sitting down, and just cracking open that cream pie and just getting right in there, I just want to like lick around the top of it, when you crack it open and it gets a little around the edges and you're just like, getting it out, I'm getting it all.
Great. Yeah, Brian, since AEW is at the Little Caesars Arena, blood and guts going on right now. I have so many people there right now. So many people who are nonstop sending me Facebook messages, texts, signal things, videos, pics. Forge Hammer won't be here tonight because he last minute happened to get a ticket, and he is like, picture being on the 50-yard line at an NFL game, and he is within like ridiculous amount from the actual. There's a chance I could actually see him on TV tomorrow when I watch.
Our audience doesn't even want to be here for the show, but you are. That's dedication.
Well,
dude.
tonight was supposed to be a game night. I was going to watch it while we were gaming.
That's right. It was supposed to be a community night, but I completely fell apart last week and had to cancel last week's show, which makes tonight's show an official show. What did we decide for next week? We're gonna do a game. We're gonna do a game.
Might as well just
You know what, dude? We were gonna seriously not do a show next week because it's the holiday weekend, and plus we're gonna be drunk most of the weekend and eating a lot of food on Sunday. I don't know if everyone knows, but we're going to a cookout by the one and only Freezy 989, and my man's making ribs. He's smoking some ribs, so I'm gonna be eating good. Peak is ready for that black phone discussion. Yes, we'll be talking about the black phone tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot to talk about in that regard. But yeah, dude, we're going to be eating a lot, but we're going to do a community night next week, and we're going to check out Fall Guys. It is free to play on every platform. It is cross-play across every platform. So whether you're playing on Switch, PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, or
Game Boy
S,
Color.
everywhere.
Cats and dogs living together.
Yes, J Hill, get it downloaded and check it out. It is a fucking fun game. It has custom matches, so we'll be able to make a whole lobby of B&B folk for a community night.
Mm-hmm.
Really, 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 really looking forward to play this game finally with everybody.
Yeah, I'm not, but cool.
Our company is giving us an extra day off, so I've got a 4-day weekend. Suck it, Tone. I added that last part, but I'm pretty sure that's what Brian wanted to say. Yeah, that's a nice company. You guys hiring?
You guys hiring? What up?
My company, you know, they're pushing my buttons right now. They're driving me to the brink, but I digress. I'm going to leave it at that. J Hill, what's going on down in Georgia, man? Is it warm? Is it hot? Is it cold?
It's almost like 100 degrees down there. If not, wasn't it?
Gross. I don't need any of that shit. I'm happy right now with the 80 we had. I think we had 70 yesterday. The only thing I'm still not quite getting used to, man, is leaving the windows open, and it's like 50 degrees in the morning. It's a little chilly in the house. A little chilly in the morning.
You got to set that. You got to get that so it stays in all day, so you don't got to worry about that air kicking on too early.
I've used the air twice so far this summer.
You're a fucking monster. You're poor fucking kids.
Dude, there's a nice breeze coming.
That's why I walk in, they're all sweating, look like they're in a sweatshop. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, what up, Lacey?
Hey, there's Lacey. What's going on, Lacey? How's it going tonight?
What up?
Yeah, we're talking about the fall weather we've had this week. I mean, other than today, it was mostly like 70s, mid-70s. Yeah, dude, it was like nice. It was nice and chill.
I don't know. I don't pay. Well, the basement's like a good 63, 65 degrees. I don't give a shit.
Dude, that's the one thing I like when it is 90 outside and I have the windows all open. And it's like 86 upstairs. I come down here 20, 25 degree difference.
Man, it's a whole different thing.
So that's where my kids and my family are telling. So mind your business.
Yeah, I come in here. It looks like they've been fucking making Nike shoes and stuff. They're all crying and sweating. It's ridiculous.
Tone shows up and it's like, Tone,
get me out of here.
Get us out of here, Tone.
Right. Hey, what up, Danner? Look at you guys. We like seeing you guys from Facebook and YouTubes. We appreciate y'all. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on? Peak is here. J Hill's here. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I know it's tough to tune in during the summer. I know it's so nice out. People are outside. They're doing bonfires and shit. But we're here because we just want to talk about stuff.
I treat my basement like, something out of Fallout 4. I don't want to leave.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, once that man cave is completed, you literally live there. Mm-hmm. That's where you want to be at all times. So, really, I want to burn my pumpkin candles and pretend 100 all week.
Yeah, I talked to somebody from Texas. They said that too. It was 100 down there too.
Fuck that shit.
Ridiculous.
I don't need 100. Most I can do is 95, but 90. But as long as that's without humidity.
Anything. Really, when you start pushing above 80, even without humidity, kind of starts to suck. Like,
does it really? I like 85 without humidity. I think 85 with a nice breeze.
That's pretty fucking borderline. If you can get that breeze, but we don't always get that breeze. It's borderline, man. Yeah. At some point, your house, like you'll walk into a room in your house that's just, of course, your house. The entire thing feels like a furnace. But
you're kind of a pansy, so it's whatever. But what have you been up to, man? The last couple of weeks, what have you been doing? The basement is coming along
slowly but surely. Yup. Draston 7D was in. Yeah, I do bitch if it's 75. It's true. It's very true. 70 was in town last weekend, so we hung out and just did what we normally do, which is go to a local place, eat, drink.
Where'd you guys go eat?
We did go to Timbers. Well, every night. So night one, usually on a Friday or Thursday, it's always Coco Loco. It's tradition.
Gotta go to Coco Loco.
Go to Coco Loco. He gets his 1600 or tequila tacos.
Did you grash it or bay?
Oh, I'll drive extra to Bay. I ain't going to that Gratiot shit. Yeah, no, I'm good on that. And then usually we'll go back, we'll drink. So we started playing card games like, tabletop games, things like that. We're really into this Dungeons of Mayhem, that D&D one. But we're also playing Here to Slay, which is a Kickstarter game, which only $35. I'm going to pick that as well. Pick that up as well too, because that's a great game. But we just sit around and drink, and then Saturday is the same. Like, you just kind of hit the reset. We went to Tony's for breakfast.
Oh, what'd you get?
Well, I got, of course, sausage gravy and biscuits.
Yep.
And some scrambled eggs. He, of course, got runny, snotty eggs and proceeded to eat that in front of me, and on purpose.
Does he order it that way, runny?
He says, I want
You're
your.
a fucking
he's
monster,
like,
dude.
you got snotty eggs, and they're like, yeah, actually we do, and they just bring it out into a cup, and then there you go, and he just might as well.
That's fucking
It's disgusting. Well, we had the waitress cracking up, but he was being a cock knocker because
shocking.
I was drinking coffee, and they would come out and bring the coffee, and he got 2 different waitresses twice, and like the look of horror on their face too. He's like, they're pouring it, and he's like, oh, he needs decaf. And they go, and they always just like, whoa, what? Like what? Like what? He didn't say that. And I'm like, would you stop fucking with him? God, they're gonna shit in my fucking gravy.
Can't take them anywhere.
The Western omelet is good. I'm a big fan of the Southern omelet. Is what I normally get there. It's the it's got the sausage links, the hash browns, and they pour a bunch of sausage gravy on it, and then I just take all the red hot and just everywhere on it.
Gotta have red
but
hot
I had to get the sausage and gravy biscuits. So, anyways, yeah, and then we went to Jack's, bought a bunch of brats on Sunday, and
Ooh, would you get pepper or jalapeno cheddar or bacon cheddar?
You always get jalapeno cheddar and the bacon cheddar.
Yeah,
like typically,
so
we do those, and then and a bunch of Kogels as well too. So
Jay Hill, I was waiting for somebody to fucking save this conversation.
I almost had a steak
that's
sandwich
all,
for breakfast.
Dude, I will go there at 8:00 in the morning with the family, and everyone's getting pancakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, steak sandwich, please.
Yeah.
That's a breakfast sandwich, dude. It's an all-day sandwich.
Absolutely,
There's no bad time for a
and you got to
get
get the Texas toast. You got to have it grilled. You got to get the pizza cheese, so the mozzarella.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've actually done the spaghetti sausage is really good on it as well too. The other mirror,
really.
it changes dynamic.
Typically, because I have really bad heartburn
mushrooms.
from like tomatoes. Even though I love tomatoes, I have to go light sauce. But then I go with a bunch of grilled onions and grilled mushrooms on mine.
The onions will do the same.
Yeah, but I like the onions. Like they're really, really,
Okay,
really, really good.
Fair enough. And then yes, lastly,
American cheese on a steak sandwich.
It's like dunking slices of pizza into milk, aka ranch.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, a man's steak sandwich is a man's steak sandwich, and how he wants it is how he wants it. But man, out of all the cheeses, man, go with American cheese.
I'm just saying, you're getting a steak sandwich that's basically like, an Italian sandwich. Like, why would you want American cheese? That's all I'm saying.
American
Have
cheese
you
just
tried the
melts.
Mott's?
Just melts great, he says. I thought Mott's melts pretty good.
Mott's does melt pretty good.
Mozzarella.
Have you ever had pizza before, Jay Hill? Melts pretty good.
He gets his pizza with American cheese slices on it.
Hey,
I got a quick question. Can you throw up a couple slices of Kraft American cheese on it?
I don't want none of that shred. Just get a bunch of slices on that. Have some Kraft singles. Delicious.
Dude, if that showed up at my house, I'd beat the shit out of the driver.
Yeah,
what is this shit? Come on, man.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. Then I made him watch the AEW pay-per-view, the Forbidden Door, with me on Sunday. So we did that. So it was a good weekend. We played card games. One of our good friends came over on Saturday night. We hadn't seen him in a while, and we got drunk, played card games, did have a good time. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Just the normal working on basement stuff when I've got time.
It's coming along nicely, dude.
Slowly but surely.
Looking beautiful. It's looking fantastic. Yeah, I got to see Drasten this weekend. We went and saw the Black Phone with him, you, and Pikachu.
Peking Megasaurus Rex.
Megasaurus Rex was there, so that was a really, really good time. We went to go see Black
great.
Phone, and we'll talk about that shortly here.
What up,
Josie Wales,
Josie?
what's going on? Go green. Tone, we talked a little bit about Pistons. Big week for the Pistons.
Draft was one of the best drafts that organizations may have had. I would debate an all-time high on that draft, and that's part of the reason why I'm wearing the shirt tonight. It's just, and it's still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
We have huge cap space.
Troy's on fire.
Weaver's come in and just like, if you're a Pistons fan, you know what I know. Jay Hill was even talking to me yesterday or something about it. Like, it just, yeah, it's amazing. It's exciting. I was paying attention this season more than the last couple because the streaming takes over a lot of life, and of course, still working at GameStop, couldn't really watch at one point. But this season,
it's been exciting.
This season coming up is going to be on. Definitely going to be paying attention. So really excited. Absolutely.
What have I been doing? Well, let's see. Suffering through work, anxiety. Right. My son did have his championship baseball game the previous week before last week's cancellation. And dude, I don't know how much Little League you've watched, but like his season was like it's machine pitch for it's like T-ball moving up to machine pitch. So it's still very the very basics of baseball. You know, if your team scores 3 runs or if there's 3 outs, the inning's over. Doesn't matter. And so it's been a very chill season the whole way, and it was a good time. But they ended up finishing in a position where they were in the playoffs, and then they got to the championship game. Dude, it changed in the championship game.
Oh, really?
Everything fucking...
The
dude,
parents
it's a
too?
9 o'clock game, okay? Oh, parents? Dude, when we showed up and there was an announcer in the booth, it changed.
Oh, wow.
And, like, the team we were playing against was a good team, but the first inning, they came out... I mean, like, the thing that you see in this league with these kids is you're just teaching them the basics of hitting more off a machine. You know, it's like the natural progression between T-ball and coach pitch. A machine is just throwing a consistent throw.
Okay, so you're still in the T-ball phase, like you personally, though.
Well, I mean, oh yeah, absolutely. I tried being a pitcher for a while and realized I can't aim. But like,
keep trying to do this instead.
So we get there in the first inning, and this other team, not only are they hitting the ball, they're throwing dimes over to first base and throwing runners out. I mean, like, that's something you don't typically see in this league. Kids throw it and they overthrow it, or they throw it in the dirt, or, you know, just, you don't typically see, you know, player to first base with a catch. Dude, the first inning, these guys are just throwing darts to first, and I'm just like, ooh. And then they rack up a bunch of runs in the first inning, big hits, and we're like, uh-oh.
They're like really 5th graders on roids.
Dude, they got the announcer calling. They got the score on the board. It's 6-2 at the end of the second inning, and we're in trouble. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy. Dude, these kids put on a fucking display of, like, just overcoming adversity. Like, Anderson, I was so proud of him. Dude. We ended up going, because what it is, it's 4 innings is typically what it is. And we were down by 2 runs in going into the 4th inning, and Anderson drove in the tying run to get us to extra innings. And when you get to extra innings, it's 6 runs or 3 outs. And at the top of the 5th inning, extra innings, we almost turned to triple play. The kid hit the ball. Our pitcher magically caught it. Like, normally you don't see too many catches, just caught it. And there was a runner on 2nd and 3rd. And everyone ran. One kid went home. The other kid came down to 3rd. And we're like, go to 3rd and touch the other kid. And he was running back. He was so excited, and he dropped the ball. So the guy coming back to 3rd got back, but we still managed to tag out the guy at 2nd. So they only scored 2 runs that inning.
Wow.
And then we loaded up the bases and just kind of like won through a couple more batters and won an extra innings in the bottom. It was, dude, the crowd was going nuts. Like, everybody was, like, it was intense. Like, everyone was like, this is different. Parents were screaming, and it was a lot of fucking fun. And so my son had a really, really good time. I was glad that he had fun with it. But yeah, dude, it was a different atmosphere. Like, and I think somebody who just said it was at Josie said, man, parents turn these events into spring spectacles. Josie, this was the first game of the season where it felt like that. I mean, everyone was still calm and everyone was cool, but I mean, it was just the energy. And like, I had to drive to Grand Rapids after that, and after the game, I was like, that was way too much for a fucking Saturday morning game, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool.
Now you know.
But it was still like really intense. Once we were down and like the kids started fighting back and they clawed back, and it was awesome. It was a really, really, really fun season. So I'm glad he had fun. But I'm glad now, man, because no sports right now.
I mean, yeah, now you can finally chill.
Now I can just relax.
I did, now, just to be fair, now I know you're probably don't want to talk about this, but I think it's worth mentioning that I did see on M Live that you got kicked out of that game for being one of those asshole parents screaming at the kids.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
That was my wife. She got thrown out. She was threatening the ref with bodily harm.
Yeah, sounds about right. Or you.
or it might have been me. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Was this an Air Bud movie you were watching? Air Bud, man, what a great series. How many did they make of those? Like 6?
I think 72.
I don't know. They made a lot
Niner?
of Air Bud movies. Is there a 9er in there? So yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. Just that, and trying to just deal with the whole thought process of going back to work at the office, man. That's I know it's kind of a divisive topic. You know, there's been a lot of people out there who haven't had the luxury of working from home. They've had to go in and do the thing, whether they were essential workers or their company just didn't give a shit. But you know, the last 2.5 years, I've been home, working from home. And the thing that I've really enjoyed about it the most is being able to spend more time with my kids, being here when they go from school, or if they're sick, they can stay home, and I don't have to like leave work. I can just stay home and work, and they're here. And that's a lot of extra time with the kids that I would have never gotten in the first place. My production's better. You're not dealing with all the bullshit you normally experience in an office. You know, you're just at home, working in the confines of your home, you got your music on, whatever. And, yeah, it's just, you know, now there's all this talk about we're going back and there's no agreement in place to let us continue to work from home. And I don't know how I feel about that right now, man. I mean, I know how I feel about it. It's just the process of kind of getting back in the mindset of working, you know, not being here. And that really kind of bothered me, like last week, among other things. I had a lot going on last week. But, you know, hey, whatever happens. You got to push forward. You got to get through it. But I'm a tricky man. I don't want to fucking go back to the office.
You should literally day one go in there dressed like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. We're not gonna take it. Just go in there and start some shit, bro.
Actually, what I was thinking about doing is winning the Mega Millions tomorrow night and just never going back.
You have my permission to do that.
Really? Really? You don't think it's shallow if I win?
Nah, fuck it, do it.
Fuck it. I'm gonna win. Tricky, you're not going back to work if I win either. You know what? Neither are you. You're not going back to work. Tricky's not going back to work. We're done working if I win.
Yeah, totally. If one of us wins crazy lotto money and we can start like a full on like content creation thing and just do that the entire time, Trick would definitely be involved in that umbrella. Absolutely. I think that would be fair for sure.
Jay Hill says, I don't get some companies making people come back if they can do work at home. Mine is making it. If you want to come in, you can. If not, you don't have to. Yeah, dude, that's honestly, man, I mean, the way that I understood it based on the information, our weekly huddles and whatnot at work, production's up. Attendance is infinitely better. Infinitely better. No one taking disability. No one taking FMLA.
That's what it is. They don't want to be paying all y'all being doing that stuff. They want y'all to gone.
Yeah, and I mean, I have my my theories as to why they want us to come back. Why a lot of these companies want people to come back, but you know, I won't get into that. But you know, it is weird. It's weird. And I can't help but wonder if it's that fucking old ass work mentality, or the people who are 60 or 70 in positions of power think, oh, back in the day. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I don't get it. But I'm not in a position to argue. I'm just a lowly worker, and I gotta do what they tell me to do at the end of the day, or I can just win the lotto and tell them to go fuck themselves. Whatever happens.
Just do it.
But all right, Tone. That's enough bullshit. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We've got a lot of topics, but the first thing, you making production, but let me see how you're doing it. Don't worry about how I do it, Josie. Okay? Mind your business. Okay? You do your work your way, I do work my way. Okay? Don't mind your business. Okay? I do great work. Great work. As we said, a lot of topics, a lot of media topics. We've got to talk about it, movies. But, Tone, we're going to start off the show with something we're really excited about. King Cuddles brought this to our attention.
King Cuddles did bring this to our attention.
He said, yo, man, you guys got to start doing some more crazy shit for the community. I was like, you know what? You're fucking right.
You're right.
We should do a thing where we have a gun and people can hit buttons on their computers and shoot Tone. That'd be cool. Interactive. But then Cuddles said, no. Wait for season 2. We're going to reel back a little bit. And we're going to do a tournament. We're going to do a best of tournament. Talked about it last week. Tone, obviously we are huge fans of the great
shot colors,
the master of the cinematic paradigm,
the one true god,
Nick Cage. So Cuddles is like, yo, man, you guys should do a tournament bracket with Cage movies, and he gave us a bracket with 24 Nick Cage movies. And I looked at it, I was like, dude, that's dope. That's fucking a great idea. Until I started putting things together, and I was like, dude, that's too many movies. That's a lot of movies. So I've altered it a little bit, but it has the same essence. It has the same. It's gonna be tough, but I love what Cuddles came up with, and that's what we're gonna run, dude. So, behold, the Sweet 16 bracket. Now, this is not all the Nick Cage movies, okay? And it was, and the ratings, the rankings of these movies are based upon Rotten Tomatoes scores. They're Rotten Tomatoes scores. Now, they're not every Nick Cage movie's in here, obviously, and there are going to be some questionable omissions. But you know what? Much like the NCAA tournament, committee is not always right.
Yeah, Gonzaga is going to be in there a lot of times.
The committee is constantly questioned, and there will be some questions here. There's got to be controversy.
Yeah, U of M usually chokes.
He's not wrong. Is Spirit of Vengeance on there? If so, throw it on the bottom. Crash, I'm going to show you what's on there. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sweet 16 bracket, the best of Nicolas Cage.
The Cuddles camera. We got to talk about that, too.
As you can see, we have them ranked from 1 to 16. We've got the brackets spread out. And, yeah, we're going to break down each bracket. We're going to break down each region individually here, but we're just giving you the full spectrum view of what we got going on and what the voting dates will be. Now, this is going to be dragged out for about a month because it just makes it easier for us to allow everyone to vote. If they haven't seen a certain movie, it'll give them time to watch that movie. So as you can see, the Sweet 16 voting will take place beginning tomorrow through July 13th. Jay Hill, fucking mind your tongue. But yes, we will be talking about that when we get to that bracket. That is a legitimate concern of mine. But Sweet 16 voting will run from June 30th to July 13th before that show, which then will announce the winners. And then we'll look at, I'm telling you, half-ass, no weatherman. I'm telling you, the committee understands there's going to be controversy.
Yeah, how about everybody just relax and let the dude explain everything that's going on?
Let me explain things first, kids.
Yeah.
Then we'll argue about which movie should be in there.
Yeah.
I agree. Weatherman wasn't even on the original fucking 2014. Talk to Cuddles about that. Then the Elite 8 voting will be July 14th through July 20th. Final 4 voting will be July 21st through July 27th. And the championship voting will be 2 weeks because I'm going to be gone at the beginning of August. I apologize, but I don't apologize because I'm going to be out with the family. I'm going to get out of Saginaw, get drunk, and go sit in a tube.
We are, because I'm going too.
He's going too. Tom's going too. So, as you can see, we have our bracket. No Firebirds. I know, Josie. Let the committee know. Let the committee know. So, we're going to take a look at these individual brackets. Now, we saw everything there. We're going to take a look at the first bracket. Now, there are interesting matchups here. Well, let's take a look at The Rock and Mom and Dad. Now, obviously, The Rock, one of the Holy Trinity. We have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Rock is, I believe, is the Holy Spirit. That's the Father, because that was the first one.
Yeah, Cuddles knows.
There's 700 fucking movies. There's a lot of movies, you guys. Where's Moonstruck? Crash, I agree. Where is Moonstruck? Where is Moonstruck?
Where's the moon, Crash?
Where's the moon? Well, according to the movie Moonfall, it's like a alien thing.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
No, you don't. You really don't.
No, you guys said I should.
No,
but
Prime
you don't.
said you should. I said don't bother. It's fucking stupid.
See, that's divisive. I gotta watch.
It's terrible.
That. Yeah.
So The Rock and Mom and Dad. I like Mom and Dad. I thought Mom and Dad was actually a really good flick. It was an interesting flick. It was goofy.
It was very unique.
Very unique, but The Rock was like Nick Cage's big foray into action. That was like his first big... I believe that was right after leaving Las Vegas. So he went from winning an Oscar to being in The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock, which is an amazing movie. So I do like The Rock's chances here against Mom and Dad, even though I am a fan of Mom and Dad. Now,
Michael Bay movie.
The big concern I have, dude, I am a huge fan of Pig. The #1 rated movie on this list from Rotten Tomatoes.
Now, because people are questioning about these seeds, did you explain that yet? Do they
I told them it's just right down the line.
They're still yelling.
Good. Talk to the committee.
So this is based off of Rotten Tomatoes scores. Is where that's how their seeds played out.
Yeah. If you went by his top movies, half of these wouldn't even be there.
Cuddles right.
The committee's way of doing this was the score and the popularity of the movie. So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough. But Pig is a phenomenal Nick Cage movie. It's one of his best performances. It's an excellent, excellent movie, but fuck. I know there's a bunch of losers in this community who think Gone in 60 Seconds is a masterpiece. This is a certifiable upset alert.
Potentially.
But no, this is like certified. Like, I am deeply concerned. Like
I really like
Pig.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
But I love Pig. Like, Pig is like it's one of my all-time favorite Cage movies now.
But, man, Gone in shitty seconds. See, Half-Ass understands.
He gets it.
He gets it.
I'm not saying it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my guilty pleasures.
That's the beauty of why
I enjoy it.
That's why we're giving you 2 weeks for the opening round here, so people can get out there, check out
Talk
Pig,
about it, think about it.
Think it over.
Right.
Think it over. Because I'm going to really hate this community if Gone in 60 Seconds knocks off Pig.
See? Exactly. Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Okay, see, I get it. Gone in 60 Seconds. It's a secret one I love. I get that. Never seen Pig. Watch Pig.
Watch Pig.
Watch Pig. It's one of his best performances.
Hackers for me, Brian. Thank you very much. Hackers, over.
Gone in 60 Seconds. This should be Angelina Jolie. Don't give a fuck. You are not from America if you don't love Gone in 60. Well, I'm not from America. I like Gone in 60 Seconds. It's kind of a guilty pleasure.
It really
it's
is.
absurd.
Is Robert Duvall in that as well?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
he is.
Yes, he is.
Pig seemed like it's a slow movie. It is a slow movie.
It's a slow burn.
But dude,
yes.
it is one of his most best nuanced performances. Like he is incredible in that movie. It's an absolute fucking sham. He did not get any kind of like major award recognition for that movie. An absolute sham.
What came out first, Gone in 60 Seconds or Fast and the Furious? I thought Gone in 60 Seconds came out first. Am I crazy on that?
I think Gone came out way before Fast and Furious.
Well, Fast and the Furious came out in like 2002,
Fact
2003.
checkers, check that out, please. I agree with Cuddles. Pig was great. Gone in 60 Seconds. I think this is going to be Gone in 60 Seconds because that came out way before.
Trickety trick. Who said that? Oh, half-assed it. Okay.
It's just shitty Fast and Furious ripoff. Yeah, that's a valid point.
See, we're fact-checking half-ass out here. Fuck you, goddamn opinions.
Amongst critics, yes, Pig, but 9%. I mean, like I said, Gone in 60 Seconds is going to be a very, very, very tough. But that's why I implore everybody. We have 2 weeks of voting. The voting will be taking place in our Discord, by the way.
Yeah.
That we'll have a special channel we're going to create for this, where you can get in there and vote for each of the matchups, and then once we get close to the next show, we will lock it off, and that's where the final picks are going to be.
Now the catalyst comes in though, is if the voting is going a way that we don't agree with, we can take that vote and change it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like my vote is worth 25.
Absolutely. Yeah.
El Blanco, stay tuned.
I'm not voting for Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm voting for Angelina Jolie. And that's your damn right, Brian.
Yes.
That's your goddamn right.
We give you those rights in this community.
Right. And if you're not in the Discord, we're going to hit that link at the end of this here so you'll be able to get in there and
We'll
vote.
get you in there, but we want to get everybody involved. But again, that's why we were giving you 2 weeks for this first round because it's a lot of movies. Go out and check out the movies. I think Pig is actually on it's on Hulu right now. Wherever Fresh was, Pig is available on Hulu. You can watch it on there now, so make sure you check it out.
Watch it, then vote.
Then vote. I'm super upset. No Weatherman. A lot of people are not happy about No Weatherman.
Yeah, that keeps coming. No Wicker Man either.
No Wicker Man. No Knowing. Ooh. No Knowing. No USS Indianapolis. That's because it's fucking terrible. I'm a little bummed Sorcerer's Apprentice isn't on there. No, you're not. Absolutely not. So that's our thoughts on the first matchup. I do think The Rock will come away from Mom and Dad, but I don't know it for myself personally. That one made me think for a little bit.
Jiu-Jitsu isn't either, man.
I am gonna go. Yeah, no jiu-jitsu. Fine. Guess I'm watching Pig tonight.
There
Please
you
watch
go.
it, Lacey. Keep your just understand that Nick Cage has had a lot of gonzo performances. This one is truly one of his more subdued ones, but it is fucking wholly effective. Like he is really good. There is a scene when he goes and visits a guy who owns a restaurant to get information. It's like the first restaurant he goes to, and the interaction he has.
The best dialogue I've seen in a movie in a while.
With that guy.
Amazing.
And you can just see the rage, but it's very difficult. Nick Cage is he can go into the red really quick. Like Nick Cage can go gonzo Nick Cage. This is him, the way he teeters that. Like, he wants to fucking blow up on this guy and go ballistic, but it is just so nuanced how he keeps it.
It's like if you ever seen the trick where you keep the wooden spoon on a pot of boiling pasta, he's the wooden spoon. It's really wild.
That's an excellent analogy.
Really wild.
I don't care what anyone says. You're not a fucking idiot. All right. Moving on to the next bracket. Now, this one is for El Blanco. The first matchup we have is Raising Arizona versus City of Angels. Now, I understand. Now, here's some more controversy. Raising Arizona, in terms of its rotten score, is actually ranked at 90%, whereas number 4 seed, Leaving Las Vegas, is at 89%. Everyone's wondering, like, how the fuck does Raising Arizona fall beneath Leaving Las Vegas? When you win an Oscar, that gets you a bump. Leaving Las Vegas is Nick Cage's baby. That's his Oscar performance. So that's what elevated Leaving Las Vegas above Raising Arizona. But I don't see Raising Arizona having any kind of an issue with City of Angels other than El Blanco.
Unless you're a big fan of Goo Goo Dolls.
So I anticipate Raising Arizona will take that one. Now, the next one, though, the one we were just talking about, Leaving Las Vegas.
I think this is a tough one.
Oh, this is not a tough one. Con Air, the son of the Holy Trinity, going up against his Oscar-winning performance in Leaving Las Vegas.
See?
This is a really, really tough pick because I don't know if you've actually seen Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, I'm a big fan, actually.
I understand why you're a big fan of the sacrifice that Elizabeth Shue makes.
Come on now.
But
yeah,
no,
I love that movie.
This is a really tough choice. I am a huge fan of Con Air. obviously the Holy Trinity, The Rock, Face Off, and Con Air
right.
are amazing movies. And a lot of people love Face Off. Face Off, people believe, is the peak of those movies. Con Air, to me, is really fucking close to being the best of the bunch. Okay. Con Air is because of the cast. John Malkovich, John Cusack, Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi. I mean, it is a fucking monster cast. And I love it. It's an absurd premise. And it's hilarious with his terrible fucking southern draw.
That's the biggest problem that I have with it.
His accent is terrible.
Dave Chappelle.
Dude, Con Air, I could see Leaving Las Vegas getting the bump here. This could be a tough spot.
Oh, I fully intend Con Air to make it past that bracket. If you haven't seen Leaving Las Vegas, and I'm going to assume a lot of people have, it's pretty good.
It's a fucking sad ass movie, dude. It's a fucking sad ass movie.
There you go.
Okay, I haven't seen Leaving Las Vegas, adding it to the list, but Con Air was amazing. Con Air is amazing.
Yeah, Cuddles. Yeah, some of the old pieces from the other. Yeah, that was tough.
The OG bracket, y'all, is a bullshit bracket too. There are some second round matchups that I was like, man, fuck Cuddles for putting this together.
Yeah, that was tough.
There were some in there where I was like, dude, this is some bullshit. I don't like this. But even then, moving the stuff around, there are some interesting second round matchups that hopefully we'll get to see. So that's what we think about this bracket. Let's move on to the next one. This one I think is going to be scratch. I think this is the easiest bracket.
You did,
based
Cuddles.
on ratings.
We appreciate it.
Face Off against Ghost Rider. This is a no-brainer. Obviously, Face Off is the Holy Spirit, the final of the Holy Trinity. Face Off is a no-brainer over Ghost Rider. The second one, Color Out of Space. I love Color Out of Space. I really wanted to like Prisoners of the Ghostland, and I feel like Prisoners of the Ghostland requires like multiple viewings to fully appreciate it. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, it was
with the talent involved. Everybody
right,
involved.
like it was really close to like some greatness, but it fell short on some questionable either plot holes or directions they went. Like there was just some things missing, some oomph from it. So, but I watch Color Out of Space very frequently.
It's a great movie.
I'm a super fan of that movie, and he's subdued and he's not in it as much as you might want him to. But when he's in his scenes, especially when you get later in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's Nick Cage.
He goes Gonzo. Gonzo.
Oh, yeah.
He goes Gonzo Cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a scratch bracket. I think this would be really easy to go with in Color Out of Space and Face Off. Now, that's a nasty matchup in the second round. Color Out of Space and Face Off.
Trust me, I was looking at second round, man. I know.
It's not so much the first round. The second round is going to be tough. That's going to be a hard matchup right there, you guys. If y'all haven't seen Color Out of Space, I know everyone's seen Face Off. Everyone loves Face Off. Color Out of Space is a criminally underrated Nick Cage flick. Criminally underrated. It is really, really good. So that second round, don't overlook that. That's gonna be a tough one. Finally, we have first up Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The latest from Nick Cage is returned to mainstream movies. Up against Willy's Wonderland. Tone, this one is not an easy one for me.
It's not easy
I have
for
issues
me
with
either.
this one.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a tough one for me too. Man, it really tough actually because I think I liked Unbearable a little bit more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Plus
it's got Pedro Pascal. I feel like that's
there's some real heart into it. It's definitely it kind of tracks a different direction than I think we expected on it. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the heart of it. But man, Willy's Wonderland.
I mean, a movie where Nick Cage says not a fucking word and beats the shit out of animatronics. This is like, again, here's the thing with Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it's no fault of Nick Cage's of his own, but like I liked it. It's a funny flick, but I have grown to appreciate a lot of his more out there movies in the indie scene. And Willy's Wonderland is one of those movies where I was like, man, this is the Nick Cage I now love. This is the Nick Cage I love. He takes these bold risks. He does this wild shit, and let's get into it. And then, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I enjoyed it. But for me, man, Willy's Wonderland is it's just the Nick Cage that I've grown to love at this point now. These are the types of movies I expect from Nick Cage. These are the types of movies I want from Nick Cage. So I think that's an interesting matchup. Now, the final matchup, as you can see by our fucking lame-ass community, everyone's like, oh, National Treasure all the way. Fucking watch Mandy. Fucking watch Mandy.
Hey, Greymaster.
Greymaster walks in at the wrong time. Sorry.
No, he's used to that.
But seriously, I understand everyone loves National Treasure. Fucking great. I'm glad. Watch Mandy. Mandy is an incredible experience. And if you got some fucking edibles or something along those lines, pop that shit and you're going for a ride, dude. Mandy is...
Or some LSD.
Mandy is weird, but Mandy is seriously, it's the one movie out of his catalog of indie films that really, that really got me to appreciate what he's doing now. Because
it was really the first big one, wasn't it?
It was the first one that really generated a lot of fucking buzz about his like indie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it is the director is just a. We know he's doing another movie too. You sent that link. The director is actually doing another movie similar to this. So I'm really excited about that. But like, Mandy is just that one movie in Nick Cage's catalog of indie films that I feel like really just let everyone know this guy still got it.
And yeah, it's not something like you don't think too hard about it. Like it's not trying to make you think. It's just fucking wild.
It's
man.
psychedelic.
It's like fucking sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of thing.
So I'm this. If there's one time where I'm going to filibuster the fuck out of a vote, if y'all come out swinging with National Treasure, I'm gonna drop my 25-point vote on Mandy.
Mm-hmm.
I will defend that. That's a fucking hill I'm gonna die on. Mandy's on Shudder. Thank you, Brian. Mandy's on Shudder. If you got Shudder, check it out. If you don't,
sometimes on Prime for free too.
Is it really on Prime?
Sometimes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Sometimes it is. Yes, yeah.
So make sure y'all watch Wandy. Wandy. Yeah, don't watch Wandy too.
Everybody go watch Wandy. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's the knockoff.
Yeah,
no, watch Mandy. It is it's seriously a Gonzo Cage performance. I mean, whenever you have Nick Cage drinking from a jar of LSD, there's only one way that movie's gonna go.
Right, exactly.
So, make sure you check it out. But let's take a look at it one more time here.
And hey, Gray Monster, you know what? It doesn't matter how soon you get here. It's just that you eventually get here, man. That's all that matters. Appreciate having you.
Yeah, great. We appreciate it. I had to come check this out. Been meaning for a while. I have no excuse. Hey, no, seriously, we appreciate you. Whether you're here live or you check it out on VOD, we always got it up for you. iTunes, Spotify, it's wherever you want to check it out. Does Mandy have Angelina Jolie? No, the National Treasure it is. Oh, my God, Brian. This community sucks.
He's a one-track mind.
I love him, but this community is just, I love it. It's whatever. Make sure you guys check out all these movies, though, if you can. I know a lot of movies you probably have seen, some of the more obscure ones. Like if I had to pick, Tone, if there's movies that you would definitely recommend more of the obscure one, Pig and probably Mandy.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you got the time, I would definitely recommend Mom and Dad. I feel Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad is criminally underrated. Yeah. I think that was a really brilliant movie, very honestly.
And Color Out of Space is probably the other one I would say.
Color Out of Space and Pig are probably my two biggest ones out there, followed by Mandy and Mom and Dad. Very honestly.
The voting will begin tomorrow, and it'll run for the next 2 weeks before our next proper show. And we'll tally everything up, and then we'll break down the second round matchups. Tone, just stepping back, not knowing who's going to win. Which second round matchups are you concerned about?
Oh, I'm very concerned about Face Off and Color Out of Space.
Face Off and Color Out of Space?
And Willy's Wonderland and potentially Mandy. Jesus H.
The one that I think, those ones, obviously, Con Air and Raising Arizona are that's a tough one because you get two different Nick Cages and the best versions of it. You get best funny Nick Cage in Raising Arizona and one of the best action Nick Cages in Con Air. That is a nasty...
Another Weatherman.
Gray Monster just shows up. Where the fuck is Weatherman?
Everybody in the fucking
Dude, talk to the committee. Yeah. Okay, Gray's like, I'm unfollowing your channel.
I think clearly this is, I think it's fair because I want to propose this to you as well too, but if we're doing this clearly, and I don't know if this is something that we could always do consistently, clearly, because there's only so many Nick Cage movies. But it is Nick Cage brackets here. But I do want to thank Cuddles again for being involved in this. We can call this a Cuddles classic.
It's Cuddles classic.
Cuddles classic.
Yes.
The Cuddles Classic.
The Cuddles Classic. I really like that a lot. Cuddles. Hey, seriously, you guys and gals, make sure you give Cuddles a big shout out. Let him know you love him. We appreciate the fuck out of him.
He's a streamer.
He pushed this to us about a month ago, and it took me forever to trying to get things just because everything was going on with life. But I'm really glad, and I really wanted to go 24 deep, but it was just there's a lot of movies in there.
Right, and he usually does that only on Saturday night, so it's really weird going 24 deep.
We got Pig versus Mandy in the finals. I think, dude, that would be my dream matchup. I would be very happy, and I think that would be a very difficult one, especially if everyone were to see those movies. Should have made it bracket of 32 to get those movies. Yeah, but going down through all those movies, Jay Hill, especially in this segment alone, would have doubled.
Jesus, somebody, Pika, will you go take a cold shower or something? Jesus H. Christ, drink some water.
Oh, next bracket is going to be the best Star Wars character, and every bracket is Jar Jar.
Oh, fuck you.
I dig that. I'd watch that. But no, make sure you guys check it out. Hop in the Discord. Again, the voting will go live tomorrow, but take your time. Watch the movies. It's going to go 2 weeks before our next proper show. We'll add everything up once the votes tells you done, and then we'll examine the second round and take it from there.
Get that Discord link.
Yeah. Cuddles, can you throw the Discord link in there again? I think it's
Did it get buried already?
Yeah, it got buried already. The weirder, the more you pay attention. He's not wrong.
I don't even know.
Jar Jar versus Paramount Master Chief. Boy, those are some epic matchups.
Yeah, it sounds like toilet paper versus
Get in
paper
that
towel.
Discord. Make sure you're in there. Watch the movies. Put your votes in. This is for the community. This is the B&B community vote here. So you'll have all the matchups. Watch the movies. Check them out. And we can't wait to see how this turns out. I promise you guys, though, I'm going to nuke the whole fucking tournament if Mandy gets knocked out in the first round. If all you fucking uncultured swine votes on National Treasure.
And Pig, too.
Dude, if those, you know what? If Pig and Mandy get knocked out in the first round, I'm done. I'm quitting the show forever.
It's going to happen.
I didn't get here soon enough, so if you reviewed Obi-Wan, No. We have not reviewed it yet. You have plenty of time.
Yep, you are like just in time.
Actually, just in time.
Just in time.
And moving on to our next topic.
Uh-oh.
What is it, Tone? Oh, what do you know? There's your boy.
What do you know?
All right, Tone. So here we are. Obviously,
Yes.
Obi-Wan, the series has wrapped up. I want to just I'm gonna look. Here's what I'm gonna get into. I know we want to get Cuddles in here. Cuddles has got some stuff he wants to share his thoughts on it. I'm just gonna go through my stuff because I feel like you're a bigger Obi-Wan fan. I know Cuddles has a lot to say. The things that I enjoyed most about the series is basically the arc of Obi-Wan, starting off as the broken Jedi. You know, he's lost faith and he's spending more time hiding than helping and all this stuff. You know, he's a broken man. But then we kind of see him just kind of grow as a character and return to that master Jedi who's been reinvigorated with purpose. And I love that part. And I think they do a great job of conveying the trauma and the struggle that he's been dealing with since thinking he killed Anakin and since, basically ending that friendship of 3 just mediocre movies. So it's just like, well, I take it back. Revenge of the Sith, I actually really enjoyed that one. So the character arc, I thought, was really, really strong in the show. The action, although it was a little corny early on, I had some issues with it early on. It did progress and get much better, ending with just a fantastic battle between Obi-Wan and Vader. It was a fucking dope battle. It was much better than the earlier encounter at the field or at the industrial place that we're at. I know you've got some criticisms about the fight, but not the fight itself, but how they handled some stuff. I'll let you get to that. I also enjoyed some of the flashbacks they utilized, especially in the episode where Obi-Wan and Anakin are sparring, and they kind of use that to kind of like give you an idea of the perspective of what's going on.
To move the story in the present, unlike they did do wrong in Boba Fett. Go on.
I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I actually did enjoy the finale, the interaction between Anakin and Obi-Wan. That whole back and forth after their fight was just really cool. And not too spoiler, but the audio work that they did there as they're speaking to each other, and the people that have watched will understand what I'm talking about. The audio work with Anakin and Obi-Wan was really fucking good. Like, it was eerie, it was creepy. And the dialogue itself was really, really good. So
absolutely powerful.
It was a very strong finish. I guess if there's one issue I have with the show, questionable performances aside, Rava's character just didn't resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I dug her reveal. I mean, it's something that you knew right away, and it's something I missed early on, but I loved that reveal. I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh, okay, she was there, and now she has a different motivation. I thought it was cool for her character, but at the end of the day, even in the final episodes, it was just like, okay, I felt like they just underdeveloped the character. I mean, we can argue all day about her performance and whether or not it was good, and I don't know if we have to blame her for the performance, we have to blame the direction or the writing. There's a lot of different ways you can go about that when it comes to acting. But I just felt like Rava's character should have been much more integral to the plot. It should have been much more compelling, considering her motivations. it was just kind of like,
Felt very wedged in.
It felt wedged in, and it just felt like, it should have been better. Not could have been better, it should have been better.
But you got Obi-Wan and Vader. You don't need anybody to do that. You know what I mean?
I'm going to come back with Dungeon says Inquisitors didn't get a fair shake, bad dialogue, bad costume, and makeup. I would agree with that. Some of the Inquisitors were kind of like, I mean, I understand they're super awesome in the cartoon, but here, yeah, they were kind of underwhelming. And, dude, my biggest criticism is how the fuck does the Grand Inquisitor and Reva take a fucking lightsaber through their stomach or chest? They get impaled and they're still alive. Questions.
Especially
questions.
Since Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon got a little love
out.
tap and he was dead.
He was dead.
I think anybody in the Star Wars movies I've seen that has had a lightsaber go through them and out the other side, you're dead.
Yeah.
How these people are alive coming back?
Lightsabers put a hole in you and cauterize because...
Give me the Grand Inquisitor theory.
Well, I don't remember the race of Grand Inquisitor, what he is. It's the same race that Obi-Wan actually, it's their planet that he goes to when he's fighting Grievous. They have 2 stomachs. That's the only thing I've seen so far.
That's fucking terrible.
Here it is. So,
overall, I thought it was...
Maul got cut in half, and you're right, he did survive. That is fair. You're right. But that also cauterized as well, too. But, yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, the mysterious second ship that was behind. That was interesting as well too, Gray Monster. I don't. That it was questionable, but overall, I very much enjoyed the show. As a super fan, I definitely have a lot of critiques, and a lot of criticisms, and we've talked on and off about those here. And Crash 7D and you. A lot of people have heard some of those. But overall, it was a great way to bring Ewan McGregor back and even Hayden Christensen, because I was even questionable about Hayden Christensen, how he's going to fit into this. And
there's Hayden Christensen is at his best when he's pissed off and angry,
right? And I think that the nice thing about this is that it gives him now he's more loved by the fans, and it's actually, I think, because of Clone Wars and things like that nature. I think that I know he went and watched the Clone Wars actually before getting ready for this movie to kind of see where that character had gone, which is cool.
Was he critical? Oh, he watched the cartoon, you mean?
He watched the cartoon. Yeah, no, the cartoon. So
he did his homework. Good. See, he's passionate.
He did. He was very passionate about it. And
honestly, outside of the Star Wars movies, he's had a really good career. Like he gets lauded for a lot of his performances outside of the Star Wars thing. So we can't really hold that to him.
But at the end of the day, again, like it's of course mostly about Obi-Wan and about Vader in numerous ways. But what I found interesting, I want to say this before I get too sidetracked without remembering about this. There was some very, very interesting shades of all of the series, the entire series, original trilogy, like episode by episode, things that Leia wore, things how they played out. But the one thing that not a lot of people talked about, and me and Seven Dungeons talked about this weekend, there was a lot of similarities with Luke in Last Jedi, which that movie is very controversial for fans, and it's been a big reason why that fan base had been split. There was things that he did and say that shadowed and mirrored certain things that Luke did and said as well too. And the reason why I feel that's important is because on parts of Last Jedi that I do like, while I don't feel like it was the right time or place for that in the middle of a trilogy to explore that thought process, there was no reason why somebody like Luke would move in that direction with all that kind of power. And I had made comments before, said, well, people realize that Obi-Wan was a hermit for years, right, too? Like, it's very possible that there was some things that he would have done in that case, and we see it in here. He's very reluctant. He's very unsure of himself. He's got to be prodded into things. That's not the Obi-Wan that we saw, even at the end, really, of Episode 3. But after all that time in a planet with 2 suns, I'm sure it probably ate away at him. But I digress on that. And, initially when we saw Reva, at first it was like, God damn, this dialogue's terrible or something. Like we were trying to figure out if it's her acting or the dialogue. I think it's a mixture of both. I don't think she's necessarily a terrible actor. I don't think she had a lot of great dialogue to work with. But again, that's because she is newly introduced into a story that has deep roots out of nowhere. And you can do that with characters, but it has to be more compelling. Now, clearly we had to be patient throughout that 6 episodes, but every episode going forward from the first, the things she did and say just didn't add up and didn't make sense. Like, what exactly are we trying to do here? Like, what's your motivations or whatever it was? Especially when you got the Grand Inquisitor sitting right there. Like, if it was more Grand Inquisitor, I could understand that because he's the Grand Inquisitor. But it wasn't. And I think at the end of the day, that's my biggest issue with this series is that she never felt like she fit. She felt like no matter, again, what character, who you put in that place, doesn't matter. It felt very wedged in.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I was enjoying watching Obi-Wan in some of the episodes that people were like, oh, it was a slow, boring episode. Watching him like connect himself again with the Force, which you see full circle in episode 6 when he's getting buried. That's his moment of complete clarity. He was talking to the Force again, but that was it. That was it. He was seeing the flashes and everything like that, and he was holding everything at bay and was able to do what he did. But yeah, the Inquisitors were almost worthless in there. Like they didn't really.
They were
like,
really weird.
They kind of drove some of the plot, but it was because they made it so they had to. Like they didn't need to. Like Vader could have just been searching like he did for anybody, or else it got word of Obi-Wan/Kenobi. Anything. Like listen, I know this is beating a dead horse with a stick, but guess what, Disney? There's still fucking tons of books out there from the old EU canon that you don't want to recognize that you could have 3 people read a couple passages from and take some of the good stuff out of there. And the Obi-Wan story in this time frame was some of that good stuff. You could have literally used parts of that and it would have made a little bit more sense, I feel like. But I get it. Like we want like the Inquisitors have been really integrated in the cartoons and the video games, so it's cool to see them live action. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to get it twisted on that. I really do enjoy that.
Yeah. No, but I feel like based on the characters they brought from the cartoons and whatnot, I feel like they handled Cad Bane way better than they did the Inquisitors,
some of the ones they've been able to bring in have been handled way better.
Dude, Cad Bane was fucking dope in Boba Fett.
Right.
But then and I didn't know much about Cad Bane other than watching what was it?
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Cad Bane, it's a cool character. I know what he's talking about. I was like, cool. Then he shows up in Boba Fett and he's fucking badass. Great CG. Just a really cool sounding character. And he was integral to the plot. Like he was really a big part in certain elements. The Inquisitors were just kind of like,
Yeah, which is really frustrating because the Grand Inquisitor is a big piece of early Rebels. All of the members of that, the sisters, especially the game Jedi Fallen Order, a lot of those take place in that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on there that I just felt was kind of a waste of time.
Gray says he wants to see more Gray Jedi.
Yeah, and Gray, 7D and me, we want to see all that stuff too, just because Rebels was dancing around that. The problem was they tried to with The Last Jedi, but Disney didn't want to say. Somebody didn't want to say that out loud. And they tried to do that in the middle of a trilogy that they had zero plan for, so it stuck like a fucking dry noodle on a wall. And that's part of the problem. That's just one of the problems with that movie. Don't get me wrong, because I totally agree. Like, I think that concept can be done wonders if it was outside of the Skywalker trilogy, maybe even as well, too. So hopefully, we'll see. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that with Ahsoka. I think Filoni's got some stuff up his sleeves. But anyways, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was a good time. Outside of the minor things with that, some of the pacing I think ruined it. Some of the silliness with Leia a little bit. I think the actor was fantastic. I actually really liked her.
She was good, but how she could escape people, they did a really bad job of it.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that she was in the middle of was kind of silly. Don't get me wrong, but the fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, the meet up there is the big. It's what everybody was waiting for. It's what we all wanted. We got to see the Force in full effect. We got to see what felt like Force Unleashed as well too. When Vader put his hand on the ground and did what he did, I was just like, this is fucking exactly the same shit we want to see. We're peak Vader who's comfortable in the suit, who is, able to still lightsaber battle. We get these flashbacks with these guys, and it's making sense in the present, unlike how Boba Fett did it terrible, so it all just felt like it fit. And then in the middle of this great fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, you cut over to a scene with Reva chasing a kid in a fucking canyon.
That was questionable, yeah.
It's very questionable.
Everyone's been waiting for this awesome
It's very questionable. That's my problem. Like, who thought that in the middle of a Vader and Obi-Wan confrontation,
the final confrontation,
you would cut away? Like, we already got to deal with some of the cutaways anyways, and we didn't get a whole lot of this.
And dude, the fact that they're cutting away to stuff that we know Luke's not going to die. We know Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen aren't going to die.
It's not like this is,
oh my God, is he going to make it?
Right. Oh, is he going to be okay? Like, why would you cut away from that at all? And that's my point. It felt like that, and that was the solidifying piece for me. That felt like this character has been wedged in here, and now apparently we're finding out that character was supposed to die, and it didn't.
Oh.
So now that's got everybody worried, like, oh, we're going to give this character a fucking series, like a boring character with, that has, for all intents and purposes, their story's been completed. Now, to end this with that battle, with the two of them doing the things, One of the things about this series that I really enjoyed, of course, with the battle, was the dialogue that Anakin had, which is similar to season 2 finale of Rebels with Ahsoka. But this had a lot more heart. Like, I was emotional. Like, I've watched this episode 4 times for the record. It's very emotional every time I watch it, and I pick apart some more of it too. And when you see Obi-Wan's eyes and he's tearing up, and you see him go through a spectrum of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You see him do that in the entire series, but you see him go through a spectrum of emotions. And when Anakin is trying to talk through the Vader helmet, and he tells him, and this is probably the biggest thing for me of the series, how they tied that off from New Hope. Because if you remember in A New Hope, when he hands the lightsaber and says, "Oh, Luke wanted to know about his father," and he said, "Well, a young Jedi named Darth Vader killed your father, Anakin." And then you get to Empire Strikes Back, and after he finds out that Vader's his real father, or Jedi, maybe it is, and he's like, "Well, Obi-Wan, what I told you is true from a certain point of view," and looks like from a certain point of view, like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? You stretch the truth.
Now you get that point.
They give you that entire perspective. Because that's been a plot hole for 40, 30 years. You know what I mean? That's been a plot hole for a lot of people, and something that people like always go into. Because originally they didn't plan on Vader being his father until Empire was a big secret, and they managed to do that. And I thought that was brilliant. And like, you see him saying like, you were not my failure. I killed Anakin Skywalker, and he's smiling, and they're getting the light changes of the lightsabers.
Menacing
all of
Hayden
that.
Christensen is the best Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So to come full circle like they did with that was probably my biggest piece as well too, for the whole thing. And listen, I know not everybody's either a Star Wars fan or maybe a Super Star Wars fan. But that was the thing for me. That entire battle, that crescendo, getting to that point, that was what it was. And to point out the fact that when he hits him with the lightsaber and the helmet comes off, that's where he gets that lion scar on his head that you see in
Jedi
Return of the Jedi and stuff. So with that being said, I think we got somebody who may want to give us some not super fan Star Wars objective thoughts on the show, and
we're gonna get Mr. King Cuddles up on this bitch, because I know he wants to talk some shit about this. So I'm gonna try now. Tone, is this gonna be the time where this goes flawlessly? Hold on. No, I'm gonna unmute him. Okay, so nobody can hear him yet. He is yet. I'm gonna go here. King Cuddles, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear King Cuddles? Can y'all hear King Cuddles?
Hear me?
Can you hear him?
Oh yeah.
Ask Cuddles about Weatherman. I will in a second, as long as you tell me y'all can hear him. Can y'all hear him? Did I fucking nail it? Everyone's like, do we tell him or do we fuck? Yes! Woo! That's how you fucking do a call-in. Cuddles, what's up, baby? Welcome.
90 fucking episodes in, and we got it, Chet.
Finally got it.
Fucking did it right.
Nailed it. Got it. Cuddles, welcome, dude. It's been a minute since we've done a call-in, but we're glad that you're here. Again, just to go back to the previous segment, thank you so much for that recommendation for the Nick Cage
Cuddles
tournament,
Classic.
The Cuddles Classic. I think it's going to be exciting. There's going to be there's some tough picks in there, dude.
Yeah, no, that's going to be tough. And for anybody recommending movies, go through 150 Nick Cage movies and try to put together a list. I did 24, and it was hard, so I can imagine doing 16. Weatherman's not on there because it was a shitty movie and it ranked like 50%. So
now y'all know who the committee was. Now you know who the committee was. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, I don't know if Weatherman was on the OG copy or not.
I don't think. No, it wasn't. It was not on there.
I don't even think Wicker Man was.
And it shouldn't be. And neither was Knowing, so that's good. Ask him about Cuddles Campground. That's from Tricky Region. Ask you about Cuddles Campground. That video was fucking hilarious.
It was great. It's something I've been joking around about for years. About just I want to open up an adult summer camp, like all the stuff we did as kids at summer camp, but just adults, no kids around, but in a lot of booze.
That's just called heaven.
Lots and lots of beers.
That's just Cuddles Heaven. Doesn't he have Cuddles Campground? No. Cuddles Heaven. But Cuddles, I know you have some things you wanted to talk about with Obi-Wan, man. We want to get your thoughts, bro. What'd you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, so. Well, first off, I want to say I apologize. I feel sorry for y'all that y'all had to hang out Pikachu and watch a movie with her. Second,
it wasn't as bad as you thought.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Second, I am a casual Star Wars fan. Like
Okay.
I'll admit it, I'm not a super fan by any means. I've seen all the movies and that's about it. I haven't played a lot of the video games or watched the spin-off cartoons, animated, whatever.
Sure. He's like me.
That being said, I love this show.
Oh, really?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. I liked Obi-Wan's progression from episode 1 to episode 6, his struggles of, where we last saw him, or where I last saw him anyway, which was the prequel movies.
Yep.
Where he's came from there, and you can see his struggles with, the Anakin fight and then Padme and all that. And then just showing him grow and like how he kind of like just gave up on the Force and all this, and then he finally gets it back in the the final episode, and then the final fight I loved. Seeing Vader made me moist. It's like because I don't know, something like even better seeing him here, like just the way like I think me and Tone were talking about that, he just walks up and starts force choking somebody.
Yes.
Like just walking through a crowd, like he didn't even give a fuck, and like that's the Vader I want to see.
Yeah, I felt like that was a really, really strong episode when Vader is hunting down Kenobi to that village, and he's just snapping kids. There's like some guy's son. He snaps his neck. He's killing people, and I was just like, that. They really did a good job of conveying just how fucking angry and evil Vader was. That honestly, man, I would say arguably, I think that was one of the most like darkest Vader moments, because he's literally he's not fighting off like Jedis or other like Imperial like scumbags. Like he's killing just these innocent people, like these little civilians, and I was like, man, that is fucking dark.
This is a guy that did pretty much kill all young children in a temple.
Right. Yeah, that is young stuff, but in Vader form, that was probably. I feel like that's the darkest I'd seen Vader.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was really, really good. But continues, Cuddles.
Well, then just, to go with the Vader, like with the whole Obi-Wan struggles, you see Vader struggles as well with Obi-Wan throughout the entire show. Similar to the originals, with him and Luke. But I like seeing that. The flashback with when Obi-Wan and Anakin were doing their training was amazing too.
Yep. That was fantastic. That was really good stuff. That was really good stuff.
Except Hayden Christensen like 30 years older.
He did look a little bit older.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Suspended disbelief.
I wish I still looked like that when I was older. So
talking about older, look at Obi-Wan in the original movies. He's 150.
Clearly, he ages a lot between now and New Hope.
Two sons on a Tatooine.
Again, it was late 70s, so somebody who was 35 looked like that, right?
That's true.
I
That's
had this
true.
conversation about Aunt May and Spider-Man the other day, but
yeah.
The little girl that played Princess Leia, I thought she was amazing.
Yeah, she was good. She had that same energy as Carrie Fisher.
I am glad towards the end they died her down some. I think she was just a little too much in the first couple episodes.
Sure.
And they did die her down a little bit towards the end. The Inquisitors, I didn't mind Reva. I really didn't. The dialogue in Star Wars sucks anyway. But you could have done without them. You literally could have just took them out of the show. It wouldn't have changed it. You could have thrown in a Mando episode. I didn't care. But you didn't need them in the show to like progress from season or episode 1 to episode 6. Like you just didn't need them.
No, they really they weren't integral to the plot in any major way, and they were just it's like they were overly trying to be menacing, but never gave them any opportunity to show how menacing they can be. They're just like, we're speaking in these weird languages and these weird dialects, but you don't really get to see what we're capable of. I mean, there might have been a couple of things here and there, but we never ever got to see anything like, these guys are important. I never thought that once of the Inquisitors. I was like, never once I think these guys are fucking dangerous. I never got that from them. But continue.
Maybe the first scene when they showed up to that little bar, but that was about it.
Yeah,
And
I mean I feel like that's a
see,
stretch.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But to go back to that last fight, I mean, just that part when Vader's laying there with his helmet and you see Anakin and just. I mean, it get me chills. Like it made me want to go back and actually watch the prequel movies again. And like I said, I'm a casual Star. Like I admit it, I'm straight up casual. And this show makes me want to go watch Clone Wars. And I never finished Bad Batch. Like I want to watch all these shows now to try to figure out some more of these characters' stories and stuff. And to me, like it's my favorite of the Star Wars shows on Disney. As much as I love Mando, I really dug this one.
Yeah, I think Mando is it's really good. Like it's really good. But I feel like Obi-Wan is one of those characters where Mando is still relatively new.
Mando's pacing feels like a cartoon because that's where Dave's background is.
But it's also a character I'm not
right
really tied to. Like Obi-Wan is
and
my
that's why
childhood.
it's so
and that's why
exciting,
it was really important for them to nail this, because Mando, I feel like you have a little bit of wiggle room to kind of like, this could be bad, it could be good. Who knows? It's Mando. It's a new character. This is Obi-Wan, and he's going up against Vader. We can't fuck this up because this is something that all the fans, everybody can relate to. Mando is kind of a leap of faith, and it worked out great. It's a great show. It's really entertaining. It's awesome. This is different, and I feel like it was really important for them to nail this.
Yep.
So I agree with you, Cuddles. It was a really, really good show. And I as much as I love Mando, I still think that's my favorite. But this was really, really close because I feel like they did such a great job with this character and really fleshing one out. And that's also a testament to Ewan McGregor. He does a great job at conveying that vulnerability. That obviously we before this, Obi-Wan was just this very confident old dude that's still relevant after he gets struck down by Vader. And we know Ewan McGregor from the prequels is very confident, very cocky, but mindful of certain things. But we got to see this character who has always been just kind of like this very confident character in a very vulnerable state. And it was well done in terms of its writing, but it was also really well done with the performance from Ewan McGregor, who clearly shows in that final episode especially just how good he is at conveying that emotion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like one of the biggest things for me, like this brought me back to my teenage years, right? Like as not a big fan, like Star Wars is still one of those movies. Like if it's in theaters, I'm gonna go watch it.
Oh hell yeah!
I've seen them all. I've seen them all in theaters now, even the original trilogy. But like I said, outside of the movies, I'm kind of clueless. So Vader being this world-known villain, like everybody knows who Darth Vader is.
Oh yeah!
Like I haven't seen him since the original. So seeing him come back in this aspect, really kind of like, oh, this is Vader. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that old. They re-release them all the time, Dungeons. But just seeing like that Vader and like seeing a little bit more to his side of just him being a fucking dickbag, like just straight up Cuddles with a helmet on. Like I love it.
No, yeah, it was like I said, the original trilogy, Vader will always be like one of the great villains of all time. And then obviously the prequels, the way they depict Anakin, and you can say what you will about the performances and the dialogue and whatnot, but like this was a very good depiction of Vader. The only other time I thought it was just as effective was at the end of Rogue One. I mean, obviously when he shows up and you see like that awesome. I mean, that's an incredible Vader moment.
That was the first time in live action we've seen.
Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, you get that.
Peak
I mean,
Vader,
that was like. I mean, look,
era.
I think Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies ever. Like, I fucking love Rogue One. But the way Vader shows up in that, and then you see that whole thing that led to what we saw at the beginning of New Hope, and you're just like, oh, fuck, now we get to see peak Vader. And now we get to see a little bit more of that transition from Anakin to peak Vader. And again, the way it conveys just how fucking nasty this guy has become out of anger and hate. And you really see that they always talk about, let the hate consume you. And that's always been the thing of the dark side. And we see a lot of that in this episode, that anger, and then it transcends over to the original trilogy. So I thought this was a great gap, a great bridge to those movies. And again, like Cuddles has said, and many other people have said here tonight, is just the dialogue and the story and everything. The arcs of both Vader and Obi-Wan are just fantastic in the series. So, but Cuddles, I mean, Don, do we know? Is there a second season?
So there is. Basically, Disney said if people want it, if this was successful and they really liked it, they might do more. Which really at this point, originally I was thinking that just like anything else that doesn't need a second season or whatever it is. But I actually at first was like, I don't know if we do. The way they ended it, now they left the door open for that potential because basically he's like, I don't need to be living so next door to you and watching over him. Clearly, you and Baru can handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Deuce is going out past the dune, see him.
So now we get to see what
he's going to go out and be a hermit. That gives them the ability, if he's out there being a hermit, to, of course, be a hermit, but say, oh man, I'd like to go to Coruscant and get some death sticks. I'm going to take a hot, you know what I mean? Like, he has the ability now in season 2. He could go planet hopping and doing adventures because.
But now, do you feel like, and I want to get Cuddles' thoughts on that too, and actually there's another thing I want to bring up too as well to get you guys' thoughts on before we get to the next topic, but do you feel like if they do that, you're getting too similar to Mando? Because Mando was under that kind of like, Mando was kind of similar the same way, man, like bounce around, run an adventure, go to this
I think the difference between this and Mando, though, is Mando's overall arc is a very loosely ran episodic show, whereas this clearly is a very story-driven,
focused on
exactly.
Okay.
So, like, if something happens or they do something, there's going to be like a constant same antagonist, protagonist, whatever is going on. Like, they're going to tell a story like normal. So, I think that'll be the difference in this one as well too. Like, for all intents and purposes, this was a big movie, whereas you can tell Mando, you know, because even the episodes in that jump around time-wise, you know. So I think it's just different.
Now you mentioned movie, and I'm gonna get your thoughts in Cuddles. I'm gonna get Cuddles first. Earlier today, I came across a story, Cuddles, that the writer for this series said this was originally planned as a trilogy set of movies. The Obi-Wan movies were originally planned and written as a trilogy of movies, and the first movie consisted of pretty much everything we saw in this first season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now we know these episodes are 48 minutes or so. I mean, obviously you can't do 6 episodes, 48 minutes. That's 6 hours. You can't do it in the theater. But Cuddles, like you said, you like going to the theaters to see the Star Wars movies. How do you think this? I mean, there are obviously parts of this series that we were like, that's questionable. I don't know if we needed that. We don't know if we needed this. Do you think this would have been better on the big screen in a couple 3 movies, or are you happy that they went with the 6-episode miniseries for the first movie?
So I always liked the miniseries idea. That being said, I could see a trilogy out of this, but only out of what we already saw. Like just diving more into maybe bring the Inquisitors more. Like you could have done a whole
made it
movie just off of that.
Yeah, they might have fit in better too.
I just don't know if you could get a whole. Like I said, I don't know any of the other background lore or whatever, so I couldn't tell you if there's enough there to.
Sure.
Make a trilogy out of it. I'm just going by what this show was, and I maybe off the show, but yeah, I don't know.
So, what do you think, man?
I think 3 movies of Obi-Wan. While I would like that because a lot of Ewan McGregor, I think it would have just eventually felt watered down in some way. You know, again, like I would have loved to have that, but I feel like the shows like this gives it a better type of pace. Now, minus, of course, the way the Inquisitors are handled. Would the movies have been able to flesh them out better? Yes. Would they have still felt like they're wedged in? Possibly. So it might not have helped at the end of the day. I think the way I always feel like in these, I think maybe one more episode could have helped this one. I actually think for the most part they did all right with this.
Yeah, I never felt like at any point we were rushing stuff.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about everything that was going on in this one. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if necessarily a trilogy of movies would have been. It'd have been weird because you'd had another Star Wars set of films that weren't necessarily Skywalker centric. And not saying that Obi-Wan doesn't deserve it, but it would just, I don't know. I feel like it would have been almost too much. And then you get to A New Hope and be like, well, there's 9 years between this. Why is this guy so old and boring and losing in sword battles? So, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good where we're at. I think it makes more sense.
I do think, though, it's worth thinking about now in that regard. If he said this was meant as a trilogy, and the first movie is broken down into 6 episodes of this, are we looking at 3 seasons of this?
Well, originally they did say it was going to be a movie before the series, and then they transitioned. So that's the first time anybody, I think, has heard that.
Yeah, and so he said the first movie is what we saw in this first 6. So
we'll see.
Could that be alluding to the fact that we could be getting 3 seasons?
It's very
this?
possible. I mean, listen, if it's making money and people are liking it, Disney's going to go green light.
Oh, fuck yeah. Go ahead, Cuddles. What were we going to say?
Well, so even if you did 3 seasons, I think it goes back to what Tone says. Like, you're closing that gap so much now before New Hope. Like, you're losing some of that original storyline, I think. Like I said, because, I mean, even granted, I mean, I know they different actors, whatever, but the dude in the first one's fucking older than Jesus, so...
And see, that's a good point. I like what Josie Wilson said. Do you just string Vader along for 2 more seasons? I think that is kind of like something. I mean, because I feel like you lose the impact of this season because this season was so critical for Vader and because of Obi-Wan that it did like. I feel like this was kind of like that. Let's tie things off now. Vader was bested in this moment, and we know Vader obviously gets his.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of every season, we're going to have them 2 fight.
And again, I that's what I'm saying. Like, does that take away from that rivalry? I feel like based on what we saw at the end of this series, I feel like this sets up perfectly Vader getting his revenge in A New Hope. Obviously, getting his, they had their battle, and he gets back at him for beating him all those years ago.
Season.
Or the second season, but that's the thing. Do we really want to continuously see them having a battle? I love seeing them battle, but I feel like it loses its worth.
Maybe they should do the second season be more Vader-centric, and we get him going.
That'd be fucking dope. I'd be cool with that.
Jedi hunting.
I was gonna say that like a whole Vader season would be pretty dope. Plus, Tone, this I guess for you, what's the timeline now?
Don't do the Jar Jar thing. You're gonna do it. I know you are.
No. What's the timeline now between this Obi-Wan season and New Hope? Is it like
9 years roughly?
9 years.
This is about 10 years after the end of episode 3, and this is about so it's typically about 19 years from episode 3 to A&H. So yeah, you got about 9 years.
Yes, Jar Jar season all day long.
Keep in mind that in about 5 years ish, like slightly before even Rogue One, because Rogue One leads right into. So you're talking 5-6 years here. Obi-Wan meets up with Darth Maul again, and Obi-Wan looks like a New Hope Obi-Wan. So in about 5 or 6 years, Ewan needs to age really fast.
Maybe those missions he goes on is really stressful.
Maybe. Oh, let's hope so, because that's really about it. So
it gets really stressful for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Crash. They've needed to be brighter anyways. They're fucking lightsabers, personally.
I saw a TikTok on that. It said, "Don't watch the Obi-Wan season during the day because all you see is just a random light every now and then because the whole rest of the show's so dark."
Yeah, that's the thing. If you watch it in the basement, like it's really effective lighting. You're like, oh, this looks really good. But yeah, if you watch it upstairs with like the windows open, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Is my TV going out?
Right.
It's a hot mess. But Cuddles, man, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts, man.
One question, if I can ask, I guess is Tone or Dude. I guess probably more Tone.
So
now that I've watched this and I want to get more into it, what should I watch next?
You should certainly watch Clone Wars. And when you watch Clone Wars, it takes a little bit of work, but if you want to make it so it's less boring, there's lists online that tell you how to watch them properly by numbers and seasons. So it's a little bit of jumping around, but because of the political stuff that they threw in a cartoon and they chopped them up really bad, so the pacing sometimes feels off. I mean, they're still great to watch, don't get me wrong, but you'll have some of these like certain episodes that are just not overall worth, like there's some political shit that goes on with like Padme and one of these other characters, or maybe like you see C-3PO and you're like, this fucking episode is not worth my time. So I would definitely suggest that. Definitely watch Clone Wars. It gives you a lot of background into, like Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship and where Anakin kind of grows and kind of goes and how all that happens. Or you can just jump right into the best one, which takes place after this series, which is Rebels. Really good, and that leads into Rogue One and the old trilogy as well too. That one really, and it will give you more perspective on Inquisitors too.
There you go.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna time out Dungeons real quick.
Okay, thank you.
Get Dungeons and nail him.
But he's right.
We're going to hear from... Unfortunately, we can't block him out long. He's going to be calling in shortly for BlackPhone. But no, Cuddles, man, seriously, man, we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate everything you do for the community. And honestly, the cage thing, it was a gem idea. I can't wait to run with that and see how it turns out. But honestly, man, we appreciate the fuck out of you, bro.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
Awesome, dudes. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you, man.
Later.
So two last small things I want to say about the series. Was just as emotional as that the discussion they were having while they were fighting, which was amazing. When we got to the end of that show and you saw Obi-Wan put on the outfit that he was wearing, that outfit was based off an old EU statue that was done by like Hot Toys or whatever that was, and some of the old, like some comics as well too. To see him suit up like that and look like that character down to the goggles was brilliant. And then we finally got to hear what everybody wanted to hear the entire time. Hello there.
Hello there. So, dude, when he said I was like, man, I'm glad they got that marked out.
So, and then we also got to reprisal role of somebody else, and I'll leave that to you all later.
Yeah, we'll save that one. But it was pretty, dude, I as soon as it popped up, I messaged you. I was like, yes.
Yep, so
let's
pretty amazing.
Awesome. Well, hey, those are our thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you're watching this on VOD or listening on iTunes or Spotify, let us know what you thought of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Things you like, things you didn't like, things you wish you would have seen, things maybe we'll see in a second or third season if that is the plan. And if Disney likes making money, it's in the plan.
That's correct.
Ewan McGregor is going to get a hefty payday because he was fantastic in the show.
And Mystic Mike's about to be timed out for that Jar Jar bit. And I did see the Khan bit and the Star Trek bit too. I'm watching you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike comes in here just to ruffle some feathers.
Every day he's swinging at me. It's nuts.
So we saw the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Tone, then we had a new show start.
We did.
We had a show that we were really excited about because it's starring two actors that I am just enamored with. Obviously, the dude himself, the real dude,
the true dude.
I'm just a phony ass motherfucker who loves this guy.
Very true.
Jeff Bridges,
the maker,
and John Lithgow, the old man,
Flynn,
airing now on Hulu. Cancer-free dude, yes. Tone, when we saw the trailer for this, I feel like the trailer kind of sold me a little bit differently at first. When I saw the trailer, I was like, cool, this is Taken with Jeff Bridges.
Right.
We're going to see Jeff Bridges go fucking ham and beat everyone up, turn into a super guy.
Which we were excited about.
Which I was cool with. I was cool with it. But what we have gotten here is something that is much more appreciative. It's something that's much more well done. It's much more thought-provoking. The Old Man airing now on Hulu. We've watched the first 3 episodes, and Tone, this show is fucking dope.
It's fucking dope. It is. You guys heard me talk about Winning Time being one of my favorite shows this year. We're 3 episodes in on this one, right? 3 now? 4?
3 episodes in, yes.
And this is also in contention for one of my favorite series this year, and it's new. This show is way different than I thought it was going to be, and I love the story, the depth, the character development. It's done exceptionally well. So, boy, boy.
The most important thing we got to tell you guys and girls is don't let the trailer set unrealistic expectations, because honestly, when you I love Taken, okay? I think Taken was fucking awesome. It was cool to see old ass Liam Neeson go out there and just be a fucking maniac. You know, and we've seen other actors do this. We've seen Kevin Costner do this in 13 Days.
We see fucking Bob Odenkirk, nobody.
I mean, we see a lot of these actors getting these roles. We're just like, man, how are they kicking everyone's ass? But here's the thing about this show.
It's true, King.
Is
You're right.
This is truly a slow burn. It's a slow burn. There's some good action here and there. But this is a much more character-driven piece that is bolstered by solid acting, great storytelling, and again, some well-timed action. But, first and foremost, dude, when this trailer came out and I saw it started Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow, I was like, okay, cool. And I've told you this, and I've told both people, this show could have been a fucking disaster. It could be fucking terrible, and I'm still going to watch this shit because these are 2 actors that I grew up with that I just find incredibly just charismatic, and they're so talented, and they have so much range. They've shown throughout their careers they can do every genre of movie. And so when I seen these 2 guys were heading off, there it is. We're back. The computer has been acting up recently, so I apologize for that. But super excited for this show. But yeah, to see these 2 come together. Now, here's the thing. It's the ultimate game of cat and mouse. When we talk about a slow burn, it is an espionage thriller. This is a political espionage thriller where it is a game of cat and mouse between Jeff Bridges is Dan Chase, a former CIA field operative who's always in the mix, and then you have John Lithgow as Harold Harper, who's kind of like the eye overseeing everything. He was more the diplomat, the guy in control of everything. And they had this very distinct relationship as they were doing some kind of shady stuff at the time, stuff that wasn't fully they didn't have total permission from the U.S. government, but they were carrying out their own thing. They had an understanding between each other. It's established early in the show. There's an understanding between them at their younger age. Skip ahead 20, 30, 40 years, and they're kind of thrown back into the mix. Their past decisions and actions have come to fruition, and now
somebody's done some digging.
Somebody's been doing some digging, and now they're forced to get back into the game, and this time it's not as cordial. They're not.
It's on 2 different sides.
They're on 2 different sides of the fence.
Yes, Cuddles. I think so. Yes.
John Lithgow has been 70 since 1995. But obviously for myself, these two guys at the top of their game still. I don't know if they'll ever like. I feel like these guys are just
They're
destined
timeless.
to be actors forever. Like they're just
timeless,
that good. They're really good. Amy Brenneman is actually really good as Zoe. I've always kind of a hit or miss on Amy Brenneman throughout her career.
Yeah.
Like sometimes she's really good, other times it's just like, not the greatest material, just not the best performances. She is actually really good, and much like these characters who are, the thing that I dig about this show, man, is like Dan Chase, badass CIA operative. You know, he's a killer, but he's got some trauma in his life. He's dealing with a lot with a daughter, trying to like stay hidden. Trauma there. Harold Harper, John Lithgow's character, dealing with some sort of trauma with his family, struggling with that. Amy Brenneman's character, who is introduced, she's kind of like thrown into the mix, dealing with trauma from a divorce. The family's just kind of like written her off. So all these characters are like flawed characters right now. They're all very much Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everyone's dealing with issues. And so there's a character study going on here. Okay? And now look, that's not to say that there's no action. But the thing that I like about the action in this show is it's grounded in reality. Look, fucking Jeff Bridges is close to 70 years old, if not 70. And so when you see this guy with all of his extensive training, even when he gets into the fights that he gets into, you know this fucking guy is tired. Like, you know he is an old man. He doesn't have that endless energy that Liam Neeson had. He's not like a superhero. But the training that he uses, it's believable. At no point do I think, yeah, right. He's 72 fucking years old. He's fighting like he's 72 years old, but he's fighting like a 72-year-old with extensive close quarter combat training. Like, he knows what the fuck he's doing in these situations. So he does a great job at conveying that to the point where it's not like over the top where you're like, yeah, right. You're just kind of like, oh, shit. Is he going to get out of this? You know he is, Jeff Bridges. But at the same time, you're just kind of like, this is really good action. It gets intense when it needs to. But the main point of it is it's the character development. It's the story that's going on. It's the game of cat and mouse between Harper and Chase that makes this show so compelling.
Absolutely.
And much like Obi-Wan, there's flashbacks where you go back to when Chase was younger in Afghanistan and Harper and their relationship there as they're carrying out their kind of like not so legal operation that adds a lot of depth to it.
To the present time.
To the present
especially,
time.
yes.
And it's so fucking well done, dude. It's so well done. Like, I'm really digging it. If there's one knock I have, Tone, and I don't know if it's a knock, is I really wish there was more Bridges and Lithgow interaction. Because right now, the characters aren't in a position to where you can see them go back and forth. You see it early on, and it's fucking awesome. Because you can see it in their flashback. It's the same relationship. They lock horns, but they have an understanding.
It's diplomatic, yeah. I think we're gonna get that. I think we just got to get it through a few more episodes, and I'm gonna guess that's got to be part of the showdown. And there's some twists coming. We know already. There's some different players on the game that I don't think everybody realizes on the board yet as well too. We had the big reveal, really two big reveals last episode.
Yes.
So it's starting to get stacked and interesting. It's a great show. I keep telling Cuddles to stop doing his streaming bullshit and just watch it. He still hasn't watched any of it. But yeah, it definitely is a very, very, very well written show. And John Watts, who has his hand in writing these Spider-Man movies recently,
Directed all the Spider-Man movies.
So I guess the proof's in the pudding already. So clearly he's got some other sort of range as well too. Instead of just Disney giving you a list, stay within some of these boxes and move along. So. If you haven't seen this yet and you're interested in this show at all, please.
Look what Jay Hill just said. That's fucking something that we talked about before the show.
Yeah, it's really, really weird.
Christopher Redman, who plays a young Harper.
Yep.
There is a scene early on where him and I think it's the first episode where him and Dan Chase, they flash back. And when this, like the guy who plays young Chase, Bill Hack, he is good. Like I believe that's like the same character.
Yeah.
But this guy, Christopher Redman, has the fucking tone
it's
of
weird.
John. Like when he's talking, I'm like, I seriously want to be like, dude, now how do they have Bill Hack being himself? But they have John Lithgow like voicing it over this guy. No,
really
this
weird.
guy just has that same mannerism, that same dialect or whatever you call it. It's like spot on. You're like, okay. And that's why I appreciate the flashbacks, because yes, it's support for character building, but these are two actors that clearly understand who they're playing, and they nail it, dude. Like, it's really good.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, we're not going to dive too much into this, and honestly, we're not going to we're going to kind of change up the way we do shows a little bit. We're not going to do a week-to-week thing on a lot of these shows. We'll do like an early impressions of the first couple episodes, then let the season play out, and then when it's done, we'll revisit it and kind of like a spoilerish free episode, a review of it, like kind of like what we do with Obi-Wan, but like instead of going every single episode, because not everyone has time to watch the episodes the day they come out. I think these come out on Thursdays or Fridays, but it gives people a little bit more time to get caught up before we actually get back. We'll obviously let y'all know when we go in for the final review. I haven't even looked to see how many episodes Old Man is. I want to say it's like 8 or 10 episodes this season. I just finished being like quick. I know we're trying, but we're gonna like push it back out a little bit more, so we're not just every week talking very generically about something that we really want to get into, but we know people can't watch it right away. So we're gonna move it back. But see, if you guys and girls get a chance, this is on Hulu, FX, or whatever, and it is definitely worth a watch. If you want to watch two old pros, just go. other than Tone and I. But like two phenomenal actors just go head to head in a game of cat and mouse, with a lot of good shit going on around them in terms of like the other characters that are, like Tone said, that are on the chessboard. This is getting really good, and it's just, dude. Honestly, man, this thing could have came out and reviewed poorly. I'm fucking watching Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow. It's really that simple. So it's definitely worth a watch. We'd love to get you guys and girls' thoughts. If you are checking out The Old Man, let us know in the comments. We'll be talking about it in the Discord. We'll have like spoiler-free channels open so we can talk about stuff. But this is a show that is definitely worth a watch right now, dude. It's something you don't want to miss.
Another good one this year. Like you said, Cuddles.
We've had a lot of great stuff. Halfway through the year, this has been one of the best for TV. I agree 1,000%. But we're going to end that there. We're not going to talk about too much more. We don't want to spoil anything. Check it out. It's available on Hulu. We'll talk about more of it once the season ends. Moving on, Tone, we've got a trailer. It's trailer time. Now, we didn't have too many trailers like picked out until we went and saw TheBlackPhone and this trailer. There was a couple good trailers actually, but this one is like the one where we were like, even Dress and I were just like, wow, this looks fucking nuts. It's a horror film slated to come out in September. Let's check out the trailer. Smile.
What is it you like to talk about?
My patient. Hi. I know you're nervous. I just want to have a chat.
I'm seeing something no one else can see except for me. It's smiling at me. Oh my God!
Yesterday, a patient in your care died brutally in front of you.
I need to find an explanation for what happened.
It's smiling at me. It's smiling at me.
You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to
I found 20 cases involving 19 victims with a direct line linking them all together.
You said only 19. Why is it that everybody else who's seen it is dead and you're alive? I've seen it too.
You?
Get away from me! How long between each victim's death?
None of them survived longer than a week.
Today's my 4th day. I am not gonna keep running. I have to face it.
How does it make you feel?
I'm just really
scared that something bad is going to happen. Rose.
Dude, this trailer made me jump.
It made me jump.
You
too.
don't jump, and you fucking jumped at the end of that trailer.
Fucking jump too.
Look, this stars a bunch of people I don't know, other than Cal Penn, and this is directed by somebody I am not familiar with. I don't even think I wrote the names down because I don't know who the fuck anybody is in this movie. All I know is this looks fucked up. Okay, this looks fucked up.
Did we get a rating on that?
I believe. Oh, it's got to be R.
It better be R.
It's got to be R. Maybe A Train. Because like this was fucking. This trailer was effective.
A Train can.
Like, dude, if you want to make a trailer that's going to pique people's interest for horror, you got to hit them in the gut. And dude, this shit looks hot. This movie could be terrible. This could be a terrible movie. I don't know anybody involved in this movie. All I know is that was an effective fucking trailer, and I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all sitting there. We're all like, "What the fuck is this? This is creepy.
Man.
This is creepy."
There was
there
was actually quite a few trailers before Black Phone.
A lot
that
of
was really
horror
good.
shit. Yeah.
Barbarian with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, that
looks
fucking cool.
Yeah. So, but Smile. This is set to come out on September 30th this year, and the dude in prison looked familiar. I mean, it's Rob Morgan. He's in Stranger Things 4, season 4. He's the sheriff, and he's also Irvin Magic Johnson's dad in Winning Time.
And if you look him up, he's got a laundry list of stuff he's in.
He is an up and comer. Like he's making moves.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of. Rob Morgan. He is a very talented actor, and he's making some moves.
Prefers to be called Robert, but whatever.
Can't wait to see Nope. You know what? We didn't run the second trailer of Nope because it was a lot of and Tone and many other people said it was very spoilery. They ran that trailer at the theater. It was a little bit more spoilery, but I still feel like it was when I watched the trailer. I was like, you know what? I could still see Jordan Peele having enough room to be like, I'm gonna fucking catch you off guard.
It looks creepy though.
Oh, it looks creepy as fuck,
So,
man. It looks creepy as fuck. You talk about UFOs all day, and that's gonna creep me the fuck out.
You just ruined it for everybody too. Look at you.
Well, who didn't think it was UFOs after the
Nobody
first
thought
trailer?
so.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
We don't know.
Dude, that's all we saw in the first when they showed the thing up in the air. It's
No,
a
they didn't.
UFO. Oh, my, get out of here.
It was
dude.
a cloud.
No, dude. Everyone knew it
You
was
can try to
UFOs.
backtrack all you want, but you just spoil it for everybody.
Dude, there's a huge shadow on the ground like Independence Day chasing the guy on the horse. It's a fucking UFO.
Could have just been a cloud going in front of the sun.
Dude, get out of here, man. You're a clown. All right. We're going to move on to our first movie review because we have another call-in.
I know, Mike. I know
Another
he
call.
spoiled it. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you know what? No.
You don't have to watch it now.
I'm not
I'll
giving
just
it
tell.
away. I'm not
I will
going
just tell you
to,
about it.
I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to get into that. All right. We have a review. We've got a pair of reviews, but we're going to run with this one first. This is a review for the Black Phone. Now, Tone, my gosh, when this trailer dropped for Black Phone, hype.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate hype. Not only because of who's involved in directing it, Scott Derrickson, who made Sinister, which is still one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, but this guy right here. We've seen like this renaissance for Ethan Hawke. Not that he's gone anywhere. Not that Ethan Hawke has gone anywhere, but I mean we have seen Ethan Hawke in a lot of different roles lately. He's taken on a lot of different roles that have shown a lot of different range. And so when we seen that he was going to be the main protagonist here, or antagonist, I was like, okay, yes, he's going to be the bad guy. Because I know the last time he was in a Scott Derrickson movie, it was Sinister, where he was the good guy. Now he's playing the bad guy. He's playing the grabber. And when the trailer came out, you and I were like, holy fuck, this looks dope.
Mm-hmm.
It aired at a couple of festivals early last year, or late last year. A lot of critical acclaim, a lot of people talking about it, saying, transcending a performance. This movie is great, and I'm going to get the book to read the short story. Ooh, Pikachu's going with the short story. Tone, I'm going to come to you first. I want to get your initial thoughts, initial reaction after we stepped away, after we walked away from Black Phone. Your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. I really did enjoy it. I actually was surprised how much they kind of lead into the supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. It was done well. I enjoyed it. I really liked the reality-based perspective from like the kids, like the things they were dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Even the father, I felt like at the beginning, he just like, he's a piece of shit, shitty dad. But then you start finding out, you know, why he probably drinks, why he's so frustrated, and he comes full circle. Like, there's a lot of great things written in here about the characters, and even though they might be smaller characters and they don't get a lot of character development, there's just these little things of character development some of these characters have, even past their lifetime. It's just it had me gripped in some of those things. My biggest complaint overall with this, and you know, I'm just gonna kind of jump right into this, is I felt like it was missing something.
Sure.
And I felt like it was kind of a big something, and maybe that's just because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, and I joked with Pika when we were watching this, I'm like, this is like a time loop, right? Like, is this? I was like, it's the little kid's really him, right? Maybe this is, you know, whatever.
That was your big thing. Finney was
yeah, I'd been saying that for a hot minute, but I want more background on him. I feel like there's something almost missing. Like, I felt like there should have been more scenes like jumping back in time. Like, listen, sometimes I get it. It's scarier when people are just nutty and crazy and do things because they just do things. But I feel like there was so much good in this that was going on. Like, I felt like this might have helped making it feel like it wasn't missing anything. And you know, again, like, keep in mind, I really actually did enjoy the movie, even with the supernatural lean, which I didn't expect. But you know, I actually felt the acting for the most part was really good. Even for the kids was really good. I was really shocked by some of the younger acting as well too.
Yes.
Especially the sister. Like, holy shit.
The scene where she is being beat by her dad, I was just like, this is like fucking crazy, real scary.
Totally. So, yeah, I felt like, I don't know necessarily if there was a message, a point, a moral. Maybe there was. Maybe I missed it. I just felt like if there wasn't enough context to you know, make it so I got that. And I felt like there were some certain elements like that would have made this movie more enjoyable for me in some ways. Because, you know, and this is where it comes into, this is a me thing, and I know it's mostly a me thing, but I struggle with horror films generally.
Sure.
The buy-in is tough, especially if it's supernatural and talking to the dead. I don't buy into that shit in real life. I don't buy into the movies. Now, I really enjoyed how they did it in this movie because it was different.
Sure.
So it got me to buy in a little bit of it, to the point where, like I said, I was more. That stuff wasn't what my worrisome was. It was just being able to get more. You know, I wanted to know the drive. What was driving this character here? And some of the stuff I thought was going to be predictable ended up not predictable, and then some of the stuff ended up being. So it was kind of weird how a lot of different things flip flopped in this movie. But at the end of the day, I feel like everybody's going to take something different away from it, and, you know, whether you enjoy it or don't or whatever, it did. This movie made me jump once too, which is rare, like I said. I got a pretty good jump scare in this fucking movie, to the point where, like, I jumped. But again, end of the day, it was missing something, and I'm still not sure what that was. And I do want to watch this again because I kind of want to try and put that together. But I would love to have other people see it and kind of get their thoughts as well.
You know, I look at what Big Thunder said on Facebook. He goes, I was disappointed with BlackPhone. And you know what? I will say I can understand that. I would say, I guess in a bizarre way, I was disappointed, but not in the sense that I think it's a bad movie.
Right. That's exactly.
I don't think this is a bad movie. In fact, now that I understand what the movie was, what truly was, I think it's a good movie in what it is. First of all, Ethan Hawke is really fucking good.
Creepy
in this movie.
as fuck.
The way, like, there's clearly something going on with his character because they allude to a couple things that he can hear the same phone that Finney can hear, and so there's stuff about that I want to know, like how can he hear it, and you know, like I get that part of it, and that's interesting. But like Tone said, there's so much more I would have liked to have known about this character. Michael Myers is one thing. Like, I don't want to know anything about his background. I like the fact that he's just doing what to do just to do it. That's scary. This character, they allude to it enough in the story in the movie that he can hear certain things that these kids can hear. I want to know what the correlation is. I want to know what the connection is with that, and you don't really get that. And honestly, I feel like we could have used a little bit more of him. You know what I'm saying? But how effective he was at being creepy as hell, maybe a little bit more. But as you and many people in the chat have said who've seen it, the real MVPs of the show are the kids. As good as Ethan Hawke is, he's in a supporting role here. This is a supporting role for Ethan Hawke. This is Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw, brother and sister Finney and Gwen. This is their movie, and they fucking steal it. They crush it. They're really, really good. These are two kids who lost their mother at a young age. She had a lot of mental issues, and
Well, did she?
She did, in a sense, but we understand that they take on some of these are more abilities than mental issues.
It's like they were split too. Did you notice that?
Really split, very split.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's the driving factor behind the father drinking, because he can't really understand what's going on. And it's just it's Stephen King's son. Yeah, Stephen King's son wrote the book, and
the guy that Lock and Key and everything.
And so I mean, like, look, there is shades of Stephen King in this, obviously, and you can definitely tell that in the story. But like the way the kids convey their sadness and dealing with the trauma of their mother. I mean, she killed herself. And so they're dealing with that. The father can't comprehend everything because he knows why the mom did it and why she did it, and he can't comprehend like what she was saying to him. But these kids have taken on these abilities, and that's how they're able to kind of get through everything that's going on. It's an effectively psychological thriller. I do feel like there could have been just a little bit more scariness in terms of like fleshing out Ethan Hawke's character a little bit more. Just a little bit more. When he's there, he's creepy, but I just want to know a little bit more motivation. You know what I'm saying? And the presentation is great. It's the 1970s. They do a great job of conveying that. It's all really good. It's got that gritty grindhouse feel to the movie. It's like it's a very gritty
Felt like
flip.
it was a 70s film.
And yes, and the supernatural elements, I love, honestly, the supernatural elements of it and how the sister is an integral part of that. And, you know, at first, I won't get into the ending. Like, I didn't understand. I thought the ending was kind of like, there wasn't really a twist there. You know, I was waiting for a twist. You know what I'm talking about, you know, there's certain things. And I'll tell you about this after the show, what I did like about it. But there is just something that came to me after the fact, and I was like, okay, that's actually really cool. I understand why it was perceived a certain way, the way she saw things. But what the fuck, Jesus? I mean, what the like the girl is really fucking good in this movie. She is really good. But you know, overall, I thought it was a good psychological thriller. I do feel like it could have been a little bit scarier, and that would have been a little bit more character depth. And I feel like the fact that it's a Scott Derrickson film, and you go from Sinister to this, it is kind of a departure. It is kind of a little bit different. Sinister, dark, scary flick. Like, it is terrifying horror film. This, while marketed like that, is not that type of film. Sure. It's good, it's effective, it's creepy, but it's sort of. But if there's one issue I have with this movie, and it's with all Scott Derrickson films, is and kind of like James Wan in the Insidious movies, he tries to like instill this humor. He tries to like put humor where I don't know if it's really necessary or if it doesn't fit right. But much like Sinister, he turns to James Ranson, who was Max, the brother, and turns to him for a little bit of humor and goofiness. And again, it's just mixed results. James Ranson was in Sinister. He plays like this deputy, and it's a little goofy. And again, it's just kind of like, I don't know if that fits here. But, I mean, hey, if that's what the director's going to do, it kind of sets the expectations. There's going to be some goofy shit in there that might not fit. And in a movie that I'm hoping is really scary, I feel like it takes away from it a little bit more, adding kind of like this goofy nature to it. So, overall, I mean, disappointing. I feel like that's a strong word, but it wasn't as effective as I feel like it should have been. I feel like this could have been, like Tone said, there's something missing where it's great performances, but in terms of like the impact of the story and the payoff at the end, not quite what I wanted it to be.
Exactly.
So it's definitely worth a look if you like suspense, if you like a thriller, if you like creepiness. It's got all of that. But like if you've seen Sinister and you're a fan of that, keep your expectations in check. Bring them down a little bit.
Agreed.
This is a much more, I don't want to say heartfelt, but there's just a little bit more easiness to it. I'm going to be shirtless Ethan Hawke with a belt for Halloween. Pikachu, I think everyone's going to be impressed by that, but not because you're Ethan Hawke.
Now we got somebody you want to jump in and.
Yes, we are going to get 7 dungeons up in this piece.
That's what I said too.
Maybe we get a prequel. I would love to get a prequel. Make it darker.
I feel that's what I wanted to.
It almost felt like this took place in the same universe as Sinister, but it didn't. So we're going to get 7 dungeons up in here. 7 dungeons. If you could in the Discord, I see. Oh, can I invite? Do I have to invite him?
You can just pull him in there.
How do I do that? Like this?
Click and drag.
Oh yeah, fucking rad, bro. I knew it. I was just kidding.
New guy.
I'm not a new guy. Drastin, can you hear us?
Over.
Oh, you know what? Nope. Shit. No, that doesn't count.
You already did it. You already did it.
It doesn't count.
You fucked it up.
7 dungeons. Can you hear us?
Here,
Oh shit! Does he not have his mic on?
I don't know.
I don't know where he's at. Drastin. Oh, hang on. Oh, he's there.
Oh, technical.
1 second.
Difficulty.
It's not my fault. It's his fault.
It's totally your fault.
It's not my fault.
Totally your fault.
Oh, he left again. Let me get him back in here. We're trying real. He goes to the green room.
You did that.
Go to this room. There he is. Now I gotta unmute him. Unmute.
Did that work?
Justin, can you hear us?
Technical difficulties.
He's in the chat.
He sure is.
He's there. We see him.
We do.
Testing. Can you hear me, Drastin?
Testes 1, 2.
I hope he can hear me. I don't know if he can hear me.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
As long as y'all know, this isn't my fault.
It's your fault.
It's not my fault at all.
Totally your fault.
I don't know if he can hear me.
Totally your fault.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
I'm trying. It works in the other channel. It works in the other channel.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay, go to green room, Drastin.
You can pull him there.
Oh, I'm not going to pull him anywhere. There he is. Drastin, can you hear us? Works in the other. I can't hear you in the other, Drastin. You're still quiet. Do you have your mic turned on? Let's go to general. I'm going to go to general. Going to general.
How's that?
Can you hear us, Drastin?
That's the key.
Okay. I am in here, and I can hear everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't hear Drastin.
How about now?
How about now?
Yes! Can everyone hear Drastin? Go ahead, Drastin.
Hello.
There he is. Now we got him. Now we got his fine ass.
First time caller.
Last time listener, first time caller. Drastin, I know you have some strong thoughts, but first of all, 7 Dungeons. Tell us where we can watch you on Monday nights.
On Monday nights, yeah, you can watch us on twitch.tv/7dungeons for all of your D&D needs. To watch a 3-year campaign come to a close. Don't miss it. And then you can catch us on Wednesdays typically before B&B for the official, unofficial pre-show show.
No, that's official. You can make it official now. It's official. we worked out the particulars.
Contracts in the mail.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. I just got to get that signed.
Yeah.
But obviously, Drastin, we want to see TheBlackPhone on Sunday. And we've had some time to mull it over and to think about it and whatnot. What? Again. Say that again, Drastin. Are you there? Uh-oh. Did we lose him again?
Got a disconnect.
No, he's right there. I can hear him.
No,
Drastin, can you hear us?
Stream went red.
Oh, shit. Is it a full-on red?
It was.
Oh, no. He's still there. Yeah, we're still there. We're still live.
You're not hearing him?
Hang on, Drastin. Man, hot mess tonight, y'all. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Drastin, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Again.
We had some technical difficulties, per usual. Your thoughts on TheBlackPhone?
Okay. So I've had time to think about this with my traveling lately, and I've kind of gone down a little bit of a different angle with this film. Can you hear me?
Oh, we got you. We got you.
Okay. I like thrillers. I like psychological thrillers. I like movies that have to make you think a little bit.
Sure.
And I think this one hits that vein. And I think it's putting, I think it's putting the story pieces that y'all are talking about in places and expecting you to put those pieces together, much like what happens to the main character of the story. Um, First, Ethan Hawke did a fantastic job. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's definitely, I mean, his daughter is in Stranger Things. Like, that family, I fully expect to see a Uma Thurman movie really soon. Because like the whole family is acting now. So that's fantastic. But it's the little details in the film that really make a big difference. So the obviously the mask is what caught everybody's attention. That
Mhm.
mask, and there is that psychological tension that goes through the entire film. And if you watch the mask and you watch the character and the way he interacts with the mask, it changes the person, almost like the movie Split,
Yes.
of who's dealing with the kid. So
Yep.
he's taking off parts of the mask and he's showing a little bit of himself, but then he covers it back up, and then you get to a particular scene where that mask changes again, and it's a
Mhm.
completely different person. So you start thinking about it a little bit more, and you start thinking about the pieces that are there.
Yep.
And the scene at the top of the stairs that's infamous now, the shirtless scene or so. If you put that and you piece that together, I'm thinking this situation happened when he was a kid to him,
Mhm.
and it was done by his dad. He's got the belt, just like the belt with the sister.
That's
So
true.
maybe his dad beat him and his brother, sending his brother one way into the heavy amount of drugs and craziness, while which is more like to deal with what they dealt with. Maybe they were both put down there and abused by the parents. And that's why in one part of the film, you know, that mask gets taken off and he freaks out because that was his protection. Maybe he hid from what was going on. That's was his safe space
Ooh,
from
damn.
that. So taking that's why he couldn't handle what was going on, because that was he's now not got that safety umbrella over him of what happened to him. And that could even lead to the kids' mom having whatever ability or whatever
Mhm.
helping out in that case, that maybe it's she saw these things as a kid and sent police to go find and take their dad away, and this was the original house and all that stuff. So maybe they had the
Yeah,
dad,
because
their
there were some
family had
things said that they didn't really explore that she was involved in.
Right. And they actually
Sure.
and they do mention that Ethan Hawke's character can hear the phone ring. So
Right.
I mean, he said he built that thing by
He
himself.
did, Pika. He did.
He did make reference to being in the basement before, and like one of the people, one of the ghosts that calls says he can hear the phone, like he can hear the phone as well.
Yep. So
Maybe
Brady's
that's why
got
he was
too.
saying something about the phone ringing. Absolutely. So there's
But
something, and I think that's a great point to address. Man, it's an interesting theory. Is that he says I built. My only concern would be is like he says I built this thing myself. I made it soundproof myself. But maybe he made it soundproof so he didn't have to hear the phone ring. And
Right.
now he's putting other kids through the same situations his father put him through. Don't come up the
Right.
stairs or I'm gonna beat you. Go ahead.
And the thing is like he tells them specifically that phone doesn't work. It hasn't rang in years.
Years.
So it could have rang when he was a kid, and that's why he continues to hear it. Like he's haunted by stuff that happened there. So when the kid is like, this phone keeps ringing, he's like, no, it doesn't ring. It hasn't rang in years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this connection that he's been in the same situation
Right.
that
Right.
this kid has been in, and that's why he's got that like the other side of this, like, and then when you think of the terminology that he uses, like the naughty boy game, that's
Yep.
something very much that an abusive parent would use on a
Yes.
child.
Yep.
You've been a naughty boy, you're going to get beat. And that's all kind of wraps around into the story. So I think there may be some deeper undertones in this
I think
that
you're right.
they want the audience to put together that gives you that background that you're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like that again. It comes back to then I do need to watch this again because I felt like maybe what I'm missing was just because I wasn't really because it wasn't right in front of your face. You have to kind of take time to analyze it or whatever it was. I suppose, as well too. But I had to also deal with you staring at me nonstop trying to watch this movie.
But like this, but Dresden, I think this goes back to what you said after the film when we saw it. Like this is more of a psychological thriller than it is an in-your-face horror film. Much like Sinister, this is a little bit more thought-provoking, leaves a little bit more room for interpretation. How to take the story, and maybe that is something that we go back and watch a second time. You go in and you watch this movie and you're expecting to see Ethan Hawke chew up the scenes, and he does, and you're expecting to see some scary moments, and there are, but maybe there are some underlying little things that you miss, much like you do when you go see like a Marvel movie. There's things you're in awe of, but then there's little things that you miss along the way.
Easter eggs.
And I think there is some stuff that that Finney hears on the phone. And that, especially that the father is explaining to his kids about what their mother did. I think there is some stuff there that you could probably watch and look at it again and be like, you know what? I can interpret this a different way now that I know how it ends. And the reason at first I didn't like the ending itself. I was a little, I was kind of like, I was waiting for a bigger twist. But much like the rest of the film, it took me a second. I got home and I thought about it, and, I'll talk to you guys about this in the signal. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but the way I interpreted the ending makes the significance of the sister and what she does. But yeah, I think you're right, Dresden. I think you're 100% right. I think there's a lot going on here that requires maybe a second viewing, and again, partially I think it is because the way it was marketed. They put it right there from the producers of Sinister, the director of Sinister. You set the tone. Sinister is a fucking terrifying movie. And you're kind of expecting this more like in-your-face type of thing, where this is a little bit more elevated, a little bit more thought-provoking. Yes, it has some scares, but I think Dresden's right. I think there is something a little bit more there for interpretation, maybe a little bit more thought-provoking stuff that takes a little bit of time to dissect.
I want to watch it again already. No.
Yeah, I think it is definitely a two-watcher movie.
Yes.
There's a lot of things there, and it all links back to the mask, right? Like you can even hear a parent, an abusive parent, say something like, "Come on, put on a happy face."
Right.
And he's putting on that happy face.
Yeah.
And as he becomes more comfortable, in one scene he has, the smiling face on, and he takes the top part is off.
Right.
So it's almost like he's getting more comfortable, like, oh, this kid is opening up to me, and that kind of stuff. And then something happens, and immediately that changes.
Right.
And that's when we start seeing the frowny face as part of it. So I love psychological thrillers. And I think at first, walking out of the theater, I didn't put much thought into it, but as I thought more about the movie, I'm like, wait, there's a lot more going on here.
Yeah, there is. There really is.
Than they actually put in there. Because like some of the stuff, like the brother or whatever, just didn't fit for me. With the way that it all works out, and then when you start thinking about it more, and what happened to the main characters, like why was that scene in there? Why did it didn't fit with what was going on outside of like the dad's an asshole.
So it's almost like you almost wonders like if it's you got two brothers, brother and a sister. It's like if you start thinking about it, like there's some almost like
some
parallels there too. So
exactly.
Yeah. So damn it. Okay. Yeah. Now I need to watch it again. And honestly, I do want to thank Drassen for this weekend, and he was staying up. We played Naughty Boy a little bit too. So
we definitely did.
Who was shirtless on the top of the steps?
That was definitely Drassen.
That's hot, dude.
That was definitely me. Yeah. And I mean, that happened in the theater. That's why I had to stare at him, because he asked me to play Naughty Boy. And
right. I'm like, we play Naughty Boy later. But yeah.
They stopped watching the movie and just started talking about how they could play it out.
I'll just say, I bought some Reese's Pieces, and this guy will do anything for Reese's Pieces.
I can confirm this.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
It's kind of depressing.
Too.
No, but I think Dresden's right, man. I think this is one of those movies where, it leaves a little bit open for interpretation. Do I feel like they could have? Do I think it would have benefited the movie by clearing some things up, by making it a little bit more obvious? Yes, I do, because I do feel like it's a movie that is, if I go on and watch it, I kind of want to know what's going on. I don't want to interpret too much of what the main antagonist, their motivation is. I do want to have a kind of like a guide, like connect the dots. I don't get into that. I mean, there's room for interpretation for a lot of stuff, but sometimes I just want it to be like right there for me to follow along too. And I just feel like, again, that we don't get a whole lot of that from his character. And like I said, I'm open for interpretation, But at the same time, sometimes I want it spelled out a little bit just so I can use that to interpret the rest. You really don't get any of that with this character. And I feel like that's going to be something that a lot of people might miss. But, Drass is out here, pointing out a lot of interesting things. And I'm going to go back and watch this again and see what it's all about and see what I missed. But I still feel like it was a little bit light in that regard. Like I could have used just a little bit more on screen as opposed to, take something that Finney said and then spin it, or something his sister said and spin it and try to make it work. Have it be a little bit more up in your face at times. But
yeah, this isn't like, for those of you that haven't seen it, it's definitely worth going and seeing, even a theater watch. But this isn't a popcorn flick.
No.
Like,
no.
This is one that you're going to want to go into with more of an open mind and watch, and think about it a little bit as you see it. It's definitely, if I was to review it, I would say, yeah, go see it. It's worth the time out at the theater.
For sure.
Yeah, it reminded me, it had the same type of vibe as Antlers when we went and saw that earlier this year, just kind of a dark, twisted, Antlers obviously was leaned into horror a little bit more, but it was built around trauma. It was built around, the suffering of a tough childhood. So there are some similarities with Antlers, but I feel like Antlers is a little bit more straightforward, whereas this is a little bit more, little gray area, try to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, so, as a parent,
terrifying.
Like the spanking scene.
Yes.
Like I just wanted to come out of my chair. I was so pissed.
Like Pika said, like I was like I was misty eyed when she, like, that little girl, like, seriously, what's her name, Madeline McGraw, when she's like sitting there crying, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is really dark. Like, this is really, really sad.
You were laughing the whole time.
Yeah. I was not.
And just the brother standing there and like,
enraged.
He wanted to do something.
Can't do shit.
Couldn't do anything. Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, like, like I said, you don't want to condone what the dad's doing and how he's handling himself, but then you get just a little bit later on in the movie where you kind of understand why he's gone down the road he's gone, not by choice, but that's just his only way of knowing how to, like, coping with it. So it's a sad movie in that regard, and much like Antlers, it deals with like trauma of like abuse as a child, and you can't really interpret that one way or the other. That's just fucking some dark stuff, some hard stuff to watch. So, will you stop, guy? You can't see, man. We're trying to have a serious conversation, and you're picking his nose. Drastin, as always, man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you calling in, sharing your thoughts, and seriously, man, I think you dropped some really good dimes in there. Things that are going to have me thinking about it again when I watch it a second time. So, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you being a part of the community. We love your reviews, and y'all don't forget Monday nights. What time, Drastin?
7 p.m.
Where at?
Eastern.
Twitch.tv/7dungeons.
There you go.
Check out the host of the most, the DM. He's savage as fuck. He's a mean DM, man. He puts his players in a terrible position.
And we won't be there next weekend because you should be enjoying 4th of July.
4th of July. But the following weekend, they'll be back.
Spinning some yarn.
But thank you, man. We appreciate you calling in, brother, man. Anytime you want to call, we want to hear from you.
Until next time.
Later, homie.
That's right.
And, great Drastin from 7 Dungeons. Appreciate that call in.
Yep.
All right, Tone.
Yep. Playing
so
naughty
we talked
boy
about
with me.
that. I know you want to talk about this for a moment.
I do. You know what? Hey, if you're old, if you're a fan, listen. I skipped. Like I said before, I skipped a high school for half a day to go watch this when Do America came out in the theater, and honestly, it's not going to be for everybody. Is it as funny as what it once was?
Hang on, y'all. There we go.
There you go.
We're back.
We're red. It's red.
We're
it's
back.
red.
We're back.
Red,
We're
yellow,
back.
green. Okay. There we go. So, I was really excited about this. I enjoyed every minute of it. Is it overly hilariously funny? Not necessarily. There's some really great funny moments. Listen, I wouldn't not watch this. I'll probably watch it again, very honestly, as well too. It felt. I like how it progressed. I felt like it was a good time to do it. 2011, they brought some out. It was really good as well too. Like when they come out and do the videos as well in 2011. He did that small run with Mike Judge for the season. But like I said, I feel like this is very, very niche for people
Yes.
that grew up to it. You know, it's like any of us old guys who are excited about Clerks movies, which I don't think you've ever seen. But
Shut the fuck up.
very, very, very good time for me to have this. You know, and what was interesting for me, I'd say the biggest thing that surprised me was how Mike Judge was using some social
Yes, social
commentary in this, which I was kind of surprised by, truth be told, instead of kids blaming them burning their houses down. So
see, and I've always felt that was like always the unique side of like Beavis and Bud. Yes, is it juvenile? Absolutely. Is there a lot of just like? Is there some? Is it? I mean, this is like a lot of this stuff is low hanging fruit stuff, but at the same time, it's just like you can relate to it, especially from that era. Like you can just. This is what I watched when I was younger. This is my stuff. But the thing that Mike Judge does is he finds a way to get that social commentary in there very subtly. He's very subtle about it. Not in the way that it's depicted, but just the way that he slides it in and he works it into the story. He's just very, very good at that. And so I feel like that gives the film some value. It makes it creative in a sense. Yes. Is it just like just goofy ass humor? Yes. Is it sophomoric? Yes. But that's what it's always been. And like you said, it's for a niche audience. That's the people that know this, that love this, that appreciate this. Is it funny? There are some good laughs in it. Are there some misses? Absolutely. But for the most part, if you're a fan of Beavis and Butthead, if you spend a lot of time watching it, you're not going to not watch this movie. You're going to appreciate it for its flaws and for its high points. But yeah, Mike Judge always does have a way to get some social commentary in a clever way that I feel like elevates the comedy a little bit. Yes, there's all sorts of goofy shit going on, but there's some smart stuff going on in this stuff as well.
It's just, listen, for many years, for 30, 40 some years, we've been wanting to see a rabbit eat a bowl of tricks, and we've always wanted to see these two guys score.
I always wanted to see him score.
So.
How they get into space camp is just fucking hilarious. Like you're just watching and just like, yeah, like after the first 10 minutes you realize, yep, this is who I thought they were. This is who they are, and this is what you would expect from Beavis and Butthead. Do the universe. Is it worth a watch? I guess it just depends on if you're a fan of the original content. If you're not a Beavis and Butthead fan, you're not going to watch this movie. If you're looking for something goofy to watch while you're getting high or drinking, you could probably do a lot worse. You could probably do a lot better like Mandy, but I digress. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. Is it something I'm going to like make an annual watch? Probably not, but as much as I watched them back in the day, I was never ever like super enamored with them. But there are people who love these guys, and for those, they deliver once again. Yeah, they deliver once again. So definitely worth a watch if you're a fan. If you're not a fan, hey, it can't hurt to watch a little bit. All right, Tone. The final topic of the evening. Obviously, this Friday. This Friday, dude. Volume 2.
I'm gonna be up all night watching this shit.
Oh, dude, I told Melissa, I was like, look, Friday night we're watching this shit. Get your rest on Thursday night. Go to sleep good, because we're going 4 hours deep on fucking Friday night. I can't wait for Saturday. I can't wait for. I'm not gonna have this shit spoiled. I gotta watch it. So Friday, I will be off the grid. I'm not going to be fucking anywhere. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to... Look, I love you guys and gals, but I'm not fucking talking to any of you. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go to work, pretend I give a fuck for 8 hours, log off, go get the kids situated, make dinner, get them in bed an hour early. And I said, we're going to just go downstairs, we're going to turn the TV. We're going fucking 4 hours deep. Stranger Things Volume 2, the final 2 episodes of this season. 4 hours total between the 2 episodes, hour and a half for the first one, 2.5 hours for the second one. Obviously, we're not going to go deep dive into this. This is just kind of a preview, kind of things that we want to see. I'm just going to go into my things real quick. I want more Robert Englund. I feel like there's still room to get back to Victor Creel. I don't know how they'll do it, just because obviously Nancy and them are not welcome back. But they have to find a way to get back. Now that we know who Vecna is and his relation to Victor Creel, I feel like we can get a little bit more Robert Englund. The other thing I want to see is I want to see more Will. I want to get more into Will's character. A lot of the characters have had big moments.
Yeah, he's uncharacteristically.
He's really just an afterthought right now this season. So I feel like Will is kind of like going to be. I hope he is, anyways. I hope he's an integral part of these last 2 episodes, because everyone else has had especially like Max and Steve,
The new long-haired
the
character.
new long-haired guy. I mean, a lot of
He's
these.
your favorite character.
Dude, he is actually. I think he's actually a really good actor. I really
he's your
dig
favorite
this role.
character.
Yeah, he is. He's good. But like Will is the one where I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, man, we haven't really gotten a whole lot of. He just wants to play D&D.
Well,
damn it.
outside of the first and second season, or him being abducted for an entire season, think of how often he's been integral to decision making or anything. He's literally
really just been kind of.
he's
a side
literally
character.
just been like this background character, and I wonder if, and I'm sure it's done on purpose, like,
Mhm.
or maybe he's just fitting an archetype for him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
I feel like it's more. I feel like it's more intentional this season, though.
something is
With the
something-
longer episodes, the more time, and everyone else having key moments. I would say the most integral scene he's had is where he's told Mike, "I just want us to be."
He's
cool.
literally the third wheel.
Yeah, he
Mu-
has to be a big part of
He's
this.
got his brother's got his best friend.
Yep.
Alex and Lucas are a thing.
Yep.
Dusty's got a girl, and Steve.
And Steve.
And then
Nobody
Mike
fucking
has
likes Will.
Yeah, Will literally like just gets hugs from mom when she's around. So like I don't.
She's not even around.
Maybe he needs to start trying to get involved in some of that Nancy tang
Yeah.
or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe he'll become the new Vecna. Maybe this is his origin story to being a villain. Why not, right? We got one more season coming. Who knows? But you're certainly right. There needs to be a little bit more, Will. And if it's intentional, it better stick the landing, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't, I have faith in what they're doing here. So, but I do feel like that is something that needs to be addressed. But we'll see.
He's like 6'4" now with a weird haircut. He has. I feel like out of all the kids, he's the one that's like when he talks, I'm like, man, my boy's balls dropped real fast. Like he's like, yo,
Mhm.
11 will rip open a new upside down. Will get sucked in. Ooh,
Sounds like a dirty movie.
That does sound dirty.
Are
But
they playing Naughty Boy?
other than the final question, Tone, is there anything else that you want to see, or you're hoping to see, or what you think might happen in our last two episodes?
I really don't. There's nothing in particular that like I want to see, because I feel like, especially with this season with so many long episodes, and you can watch an episode a night and feel like you accomplished a big movie and feel satisfied without wanting to watch another one. Like, yeah, sure you do, because it's fun. But like when you watch like episodic movies like Mandalorian, you get 40 minutes. Like I've said before, I think I was talking about this before. Is like, oh god damn it, I want to watch another one. There's no tough time. I'm satisfied watching one episode a
And
night,
soaking it in
because there's
and
so much
thinking
going
about
on.
it.
There's so much characters. There's so much plot lines. I love that they're so thick of like everything about it. I really enjoy this season. This is probably, man, I don't know if it's my favorite season, but like as far as storytelling, it probably would be, because there's just so much going on, and there's big reveals, and you're seeing these huge character leaps.
Vecna is a formidable foe.
Yeah, the Vecna thing really, like everything that involved him, like how he came. Some of that I was starting to kind of piece together, I think, earlier than some folks. So I really enjoyed a lot of that, so I want more of that. The one thing I guess I would say, as I'm thinking and talking about it, that I've thought about recently is something that Qui-Gon Jinn said in Phantom Menace. There's always a bigger fish. The question is, with everybody at the lab who knew probably what Vecna was, but for some reason wouldn't say it out loud or whatever, like, is Vecna, like, because you're talking about another season.
Right. He can't be the big bad.
Well, I mean, I know he's got strings attached to him for his own powers, but are those strings, is that a double-edged sword? Like, is he a puppet of some sort? Is there a bigger something? What is the Upside Down? Like, he, is he the controller of the Upside Down? Did he take the, or is there something bigger out there?
Huh?
That's the only thing I wonder and can think about. So other than that, I'm just ready for Friday.
I know. It's really hype, you guys. Really excited about it. Now, here's my question, dude.
Here's the question.
We're coming on to the final season. This is the final two episodes of the penultimate season. Who's gonna fucking die? Somebody has to die.
Do you think so?
Because, dude, last season they ended with Hopper dying, but they pulled the rug out from underneath us.
And Barb died in season 1. Side character.
Let's okay. Anyways, Hopper died last season.
Billy
they did
died.
the fake out. Who's gonna die? Dungeon's going with Will.
That's
Which
what I'm
I feel,
wondering.
but,
Are they
but,
making him?
But see, the thing is,
he gonna be a martyr?
It makes it, dude, with as little stuff, as little character development he's had this season. I don't think carries any weight. I don't think it says, oh my god, it's not a shocking. It won't be a shock if Will is my last choice.
You don't think after the first season thinking he was dead, or people like you don't think it
No,
become
I don't think there's. If Will is the piece out at the end of the season, I'm gonna be like, you could have done you could have hit people a lot harder than this.
Yeah, Dustin.
And dude, see now there you go. Dungeons, I think Dungeons.
Stop it.
I know he doesn't want to hear this, Dungeons. But here's the thing. Oh, she's going with Vax. See,
Max.
Brittany, I would say Max, but we had that opportunity already. I don't think it's gonna be Max. I thought Max was gonna die episode 4. I was like, she's not. As when she's running, I'm like, she's not gonna make it. I'm watching. I'm like, they're building this up way too much, and she's had this huge arc of her own with Billy. I was like, she's gonna die right here, and she doesn't. I was thinking Max, but now that she got out of that situation, I don't think it's Max.
So we got a Max.
I think honestly,
or
man,
Will.
if there's one character,
don't touch me. Stop it.
Who has gone through the biggest arc that fans have grown to love.
No.
Steve has gone from a douchebag to indecisive to a hero to Dustin's best friend. If you want to set up the final season to give the fucking group motivation, it's got to be Steve.
No.
You look at all the games that we played, Destiny 2, when they were like, we got to kill off somebody big. Who does everyone love? Cade. Let's kill Cade. It
always comes back to Destiny.
No, but I mean, dude, you want it to be effective?
No.
You want it to be effective? Freezy says Steve is going to die.
No.
And honestly, man, I thought at the end of the last episode of the first couple episodes, when Nancy gets on that thing and starts climbing out, I was like, Steve's fucking dead. Because Vecna knows where they're at. She's going to get out, and before he can get on the thing, Vecna's going to come in and kill Steve. But obviously, Nancy gets pulled in, and we don't know what's going to happen from there. I feel like if you want to sit there and fucking hit the fans and everybody hard, Steve is going to die.
No.
And see, it's that reaction right there is why they almost have to do it.
Mm-hmm. I get it. No,
and if there's any character other than Hopper, when I thought Hopper died, and Eleven's reading that letter, I was crying. I was like, man, this sucks. Everyone loved Hopper, but Steve's character has gone one step further than Hopper. Everyone hated Steve. Nobody liked Steve. He was kind of a dick. Then he just kind of like took on the role. I was like, you know what? I love Nancy. I'm gonna start helping these people. And then he goes full circle. Now he's like Dusty's BFF. Everyone's like, oh, Dusty Buns or whatever it is. Or his girlfriend calls him Dusty Buns.
Maybe his girlfriend gonna die.
I doubt it. No, man. I think if they want to, if they really want to end this season to give motivation to the crew and to shock everybody, I think it's gonna be Steve. But could it be Max? I think Max would be a hurtful kill. I just feel like we already had that opportunity. I don't feel like Mikey has hit that point yet where like you're gonna miss Mikey. I think it's got to be something effective, and it's got to be real this time.
Yeah, it'll be 11.
11. Oh, she's like the secret. Hey, she gets pieced out. Will becomes the secret weapon for final season.
Maybe.
Oh, I mean, hey, man.
Maybe they don't need. Maybe they won't have her powers. Stop with the Steve shit.
Dude, I tell you what.
Steve dies. I'm coming over here and taking your. I'm gonna chop all your trees down your front yard.
Say, maybe you should just come over and watch it with me. So when Steve dies, I can just record your meltdown.
No. I think honestly, if I had to stop and think about it, I think that the most impactful, and it might not happen here. Maybe it is Steve. Maybe somebody dies. Maybe nobody dies at the end of the season.
Maybe nobody dies.
Maybe nobody didn't.
I think that'd be a bold decision, but
it would be. But go fuck yourself. I think at the end, I feel to a degree that 11 could be running into a wall. I think it's just think about how many other people in that entire fucking place has lived outside of the lab coats. One survived for a while, but he was subdued for a while, and then he gets out and then becomes Vecna. I just, I feel like they pieced out some big side characters. Barb.
Bob was a tough one.
Bob was definitely a tough one.
Because everyone, I mean, seriously, it's Sean Astin. I mean,
it's Frodo.
Yeah, it's Frodo.
But I think potentially, I think 11 could be a good one as well too. I feel like everybody is focusing a lot on Steve and Dustin's.
I could see 11 would be a shocking one. It would be a good out of the left field one.
Yeah, her heroism is she's
supposed to be the weapon.
Is she going to be a martyr? You know what I mean? Like she could easily be a martyr, and she, again, maybe she won't die now, or maybe no one dies now. I don't know. I feel like any other character is fine except for Steve.
You know what,
there.
dude?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Melissa. Maybe we should have Tone and Michelle. We can watch it over here tomorrow on Friday night.
Yeah.
Watch it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I watch Steve die, I can look at you and just watch you be like, "Fuck
No,
this
stop
show,"
that shit.
and just get up and leave.
Fuck that. I'll steal your shit.
I hope it's not Steve, but I don't know. Stranger Things is all autistic kids' snow globe dream. There you go. I mean, Blanco always brings in that real talk. Blanco brings in that other perspective that you just never expect.
Glad you read things.
No. See, Blanco is like Brian. He knows if he just types it in, dude's
gotta
gonna read
first.
it. That's fucking awesome.
Ain't quantum
Thank you,
physics.
Blanco.
Well, on that note, yes, everybody get ready for this weekend. If you are excited about Stranger Things, we'll definitely be talking about it here in a couple of weeks because we won't be doing a normal show next week.
Yeah,
we will be doing.
Quick reminder, okay?
Yes.
So next week we're gonna do a community night. We're gonna play Fall Guys. So if you have an Xbox, a Nintendo Switch, a PS4, PS5, whatever system, whatever,
Doesn't matter.
everything.
It's a free game.
Free to play.
Download
it. We're gonna make custom games. We're gonna jump into Fall Guys. We're gonna have some fun, talk shit
Yes.
as usual.
Brittany on YouTube, anybody in Facebook, all y'all
Get in there.
play some games next week.
Download
with
it.
us.
It's not a big download. It's actually a relatively small game.
Mm-hmm.
For the following week, we're still working out stuff, but we plan to talk extensively about
Steve not dying in Stranger Things.
Steve not dying, Stranger Things finale, as well as Thor. We're going to talk about that extensively, so we'll have a lot of stuff to
Fall
talk
Guys.
about. Fall Guys. We'll have a
I say
lot of
Fallout
stuff
Guys.
to talk about the following show. We don't want to release the details on that just yet. We're working on a few things, but we have plans for that week, and we'll reveal them at some point. But not next week, but the week after, we will be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder, as well as Stranger Things finale. So we'll have some deep talks, some big topics for that show. Let us work out the details, and we'll let you guys and girls know in the Discord. So next week, Fall Guys.
Be
Make
here.
sure you download it. We're going to play
free.
it. Free to play, cross-platform.
Cross-platform.
Doesn't matter what fucking system you're on. We're going to play it.
We can talk in the Discord. And as always, as we wrap up, we want to thank everybody for your time tonight. We know it's summertime. People got a lot of things going on. It's busy. But as always, we rely on you and your great word of mouth
Yes,
advertising for us as
Blanco,
well
yes.
too. So if you get time, please like, subscribe, check out our YouTube. Our YouTube is almost to 500 right now. We're so close to 500. If you get a chance and you have not yet gone over to the YouTube and subscribed, please do hit that like, subscribe, and that bell as well. So sometimes you want to check us out over on YouTube. It's fun as well, or catch up on some of our videos. But more importantly is if you know somebody that may enjoy our content as you enjoy our content, whether it's friend, family member, cousin, grandma, whoever it might be, let them know, share us with them because we want to share our time with them as well too. So we appreciate all that you do as well. We are working on some different things as well. I know it seems like we're always elusive about certain things, but there's always a lot of things that come in from different angles that make things either harder or whatever it might be, time frames. But where we are working on some things, we'll have some more announcements about some stuff we're currently involved in really soon here. But we do appreciate you always taking the time to be here with us, retweeting, whatever it might be. You're very, very integral to the entire community, so we appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Everything he just said, but also don't forget you folks on iTunes and Spotify. We love you all very
that too.
much. If you're listening, make sure you hit that 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. And if you're feeling really wordy and you want to type up a bunch of shit, you can type up a nice review on iTunes. It helps us get exposure, and it makes us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, I like to expose myself. So
He likes to expose himself like a fucking weirdo. So we appreciate all of you that listen as well, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever your podcast service of choice is. The fact that you're listening and we see the analytics, you guys and gals are listening. We appreciate your support there as well. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you go into the details. There's always a poll and a question. We would love to hear your responses. We'll read them right here on the show the following week. So that's why we're doing it. Don't ignore it. Hit that poll. Answer that question. We want to hear from you. That is going to do it for tonight's show. We hope each and every one of you has a fantastic 4th of July weekend. If you're outside the United States, we hope you have a great fucking weekend.
either way, don't blow your hand up.
Just get drunk and don't hang on to that rocket or that cherry bomb any longer than you have
It's
to.
a red rocket.
Light it and throw it. Don't put it on your head or try launching a mortar off your head. I've seen videos. It's gross. It's closed casket for sure, so don't do that. For Fanboytone, I'm the Dude79. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate your support. We'll see you next Wednesday night for a B&B Community Night. Fall Guys, have a great 4th of July weekend. Be safe. Be smart. Get drunk. Good night, everybody.